extend our warmest welcome to you on behalf of Apple and on behalf of M1.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Asia Esports Festival and Comic-Con MLBB Community Tournament, organized by Esports Entertainment Asia and Comic-Con. My name is Scrubby Cheeks, and here with me is the one and only Jays.
When you say one and only, I feel like there's some doppelganger outside in the world walking around. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the community MLBB Community Tournament. And of course, this is an offline event. Technically, we're not in front of the players, but the players will be playing offline. Yeah, they're nearby. They can hear us screaming, I bet.
Yeah. And of course, this today wouldn't have been possible without our partners and sponsors. So a huge shout out to all of you at Bell's Academic Group, BuildTech, Excel Games, M1, Monster Cat, Mountain Dew, OSIM, Safra, Scorpio Electric, Sure, Yumi Sushi, You at Me, Asia One, SHL or See Here Live, GamePro, and Esports Times.
That's right. Huge thank you to all of our sponsors for making the Asia Esports Festival, X-Comic-Con, MLBB Community Tournament extremely possible. And the best case that we have to all discuss today is what's at stake. We do have, coming in 4th place, you get $200 plus 1,000 diamonds for the whole team, that is. 3rd place, $500 with 2,000 diamonds, worth in vouchers, of course, $1,000 worth in vouchers, and 3,000 diamonds. But coming in 1st place, they'll be able to walk away with $2,000 worth in vouchers and 4,000 diamonds.
It's a lot of diamonds.
A lot of diamonds.
A lot of diamonds.
Time to get your Starlight skin, especially when the Clin coming in, and of course Clin being still being meta, even though after the nerf. Expect to see a lot of him today.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that later, but of course, so we're today going to see the semi-finals.
That's right. 2
series of the semi-finals before we hop onto the grand finals to see who takes away the prizes that we just mentioned.
Exactly. We'll be going in a best of 3, single elimination first, then final. At the grand finals, it will be a best of 5. Of course, a bit of a house rules as well, because Edith, have to go and double check on the YouTube, Hero Spotlight kind of thing. It's currently banned because it's not just its OP, it's just too new, so we're gonna be removing it away from the tournament. I'm expecting that to be going into one of the meta picks, but unfortunately there is like a 2-week cooldown before you'll see it appearing in tournaments.
So not this tournament, maybe the next ones, but we're still gonna see things like Valentina and all the relatively new heroes come out. So of course, still exciting, intense matches coming up for today. How are you feeling about them, Jace?
Feeling pretty good. In fact, let's hop into the draft, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be Zanka going Zenka's Kindergarten going up against Rank tonight with Zenka in the first pick on the left-hand side, and then you have Rank tonight coming in from the right-hand side. Taking a look at the bans, almost immediately you see the Estes and the Nathan still being taken away because, you know, Estes being one of the what they like to call the ultimate bonding experience strat, right? Yep. So when they bond together, they fight as 5. Zenka's Kindergarten is going to remove that off the table.
Yep, and along with the Amon ban as well. So recently nerfed, I think, but still pretty viable. So taking that off the table, of course, a Valentina ban as well.
Yeah, Valentina is, even though the early game was very nerfed in terms of the damage and the sustainability, but I think the flexibility that the Valentina can deliver on a larger scale, especially when you take away, you know, the ultimates, right? It's huge, right? It's so flexible. But first pick going into the table from the side of Zenka's Kindergarten is going to be that Eve.
Yep, Eve, and like you mentioned, here you go, the Clint as well, picked up first on the side of Rank tonight together with the Esmeralda.
Ooh, Esmeralda, I don't know, man. Like, I've seen it in actual tournaments, right? When in world-class tournaments where they actually prioritize this Esmeralda. Very flexible, very standard, very stable, but I just don't like this Esmeralda pick if you ask me. But speaking of which, Zenka's Kindergarten, Zenker himself will be picking up the Beatrix, and if you don't get the Estes, well, I will go for the Rafaela instead.
Yeah, Rafaela, of course, still provides that kind of heal together with some CC as well, but responding to that Eve pick is going to be a Barca on the side of Rank tonight. Kind of similar in terms of zoning capabilities and the damage. Next ban here going to be Yuzhong.
I don't like this ban here, you see, because from the right-hand side, Rank tonight will be able to come out to be the first pick after this ban phase. They don't really need to ban away that Yuzhong. It should be Zenka's Kindergarten to ban, but instead, you know, they practically gave this free ban away. Now, Zenka's Kindergarten will ban away the YSS because it's not being picked up, and oh my goodness, here we go. Bane tonight is gonna be the jungler coming up from Rank tonight.
I haven't seen Bane jungler for a while, I think. I mean, but he still could pull off. I mean, with the deadly catch and everything, it's extremely annoying to deal with, and you help to. There's even more of a zoning capability, but looks like Zanka's gonna respond with high loss as well as Lancelot.
High loss side lane. This literally screams gear if you guys are following M3. But it's gonna be the Kufra coming up from Rank tonight. Both of these two teams drafted their hearts out well, except for the Yuzhong ban, by the way. But the point is, both of them very stable. They've got everything they need. They have assassination. They've got constant DPS. They've got, you know, range, and they've on the other side, from the side of Rank tonight as well, they've got almost the same thing. So if you want to talk about the drafts and the roster, I feel they're almost on par.
It's like a head-to-head match here, and not forgetting, right, all stakes on the table for this BO3 semi-finals. Now, no, both of these teams here have not lost a single match so far. They've been 3-0 throughout the entire tournament. So we're gonna see if this continues here. It's going to be Zenka Kindergarten up against Rank tonight, the first of this BO3.
Of course, let's get the show on the way, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1. What a way to kickstart with a very good roster from both of these two sides. Very equally balanced. You've got Siege, you've got tankiness, you've got, you know, assassinations. Oh, well, of course, Rank tonight doesn't have much assassins, but they're very, very team fight based. Now, you have a Lancelot from the side of Zenka's Kindergarten going up against a Kufra. The bouncing ball is a natural counter, but you can count on Zenka's Kindergarten on the high loss on the top side. It's gonna be a very abusive relationship at the top side because, well, yes, the Esmeralda is very strong in terms of, you know, fighting this long sustained fight, but the high loss, there's the Law and Order stun that could find the Farsa, go in with the Glorious Pathway as well. Just a lot of answers to each of these two teams, so I'm really liking both of these roster, and we have to take a look at this rotation.
Yeah, and when you talk about Hylos up against Esmeralda, right, I feel as if Hylos, he has a kit that's usable even in the early game with the Glorious Pathway, whereas for Esmeralda to come online, it takes some time. You know, you can't just go in with a falling star moon and expect something to happen out of it.
Expecting something to happen is the bottom side, though. Void Go tried to do a bit of ganking. In fact, gonna be protecting Venusian at the bottom side. You also see Nino actually responding through the same, but Lancelot coming in from the side of Zenka Kindergarten. This could be a pick-off right now, Puncture.
3v1, Venusian burning that flicker to get out. Here comes the Thorn Rose, not really connecting. It's just to zone them back into the safety of their turret here. No kills so far across the board, but aggression coming out from Zenka Kindergarten.
Yep, Zenka's Kindergarten's aggression fell short. Like what I said, the bouncing ball is a big no button to this Lancelot. This Lancelot wasn't able to basically assassinate Venusian down. But with Zenka on that B-Trix, right, there's a lot of flexibility, like I mentioned, you know, before the cast. But here we go, Law and Order going in.
Void Go now using the flicker, but caught in the real world manipulation. Still gonna fall as first blood to Zenka Kindergarten. This time their siege was successful.
Yeah, the Glorious Pathway provided so much movement to try to find one pick-off coming out from the side of Zenka Kindergarten, but ranked tonight though.
Zenka himself now also flickering out to safety. So much firepower coming out for Venusian, but it's gonna be Zenka Kindergarten taking the first turtle of the game.
Ooh, first turtle is gonna be definitely very, very important for both these two teams, especially on the side of Zenka Kindergarten. Feels like they have the momentum, they're picking up the fights. Nice rotation coming up from Milim towards the mid lane that gave the pick-off over to the side of Zenka's Kindergarten. But ranked tonight though, they have to find a way. They do have the comeback mechanic in Green Pekka and Venusian, especially when they become late game monsters in terms of the sieges. You package that with Sigian as well on the Farsa. It's going to be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and not forgetting Jelly, of course. I mean, right now, pretty pressured to the tower by Milim here, but you can't underestimate the late game prowess of Esmeralda. Right now, though, it's going to be Void Go stunned under the real manipulation, and the next target, they're trying to hunt down Venusian as well. A little slow coming in here just to prolong the game. It looks like some connection issues, giving us the suspense here as to whether or not he'll fall, but nowhere to go except the base.
You know, as a marksman main, you have a Lancelot coming for you from so far away, and you know there's a lot of gap closes, right? And don't forget, Void Goal went down at the bottom side as well. There's no one to peel for you, so you as a Clint, you feel very vulnerable. So I like the fact that Zenka's Kindergarten is applying so much pressure at the bottom side, whereas on the top hand side, you see Milim as the high loss, right? You know, just holding on the ground, even though receiving so much pressure from inside of rank tonight, he's unfazed, and you have one losing lane at the top side coming up from rank tonight. I feel like rank tonight has to focus a lot more on making sure this clean scales, because once the late game comes in, that's where they will shine.
Yeah, right now though, Jelly is the one to fall, like you said, trying to hold his fort, but still not enough here in this early game to hold off that gank from Zenka Kindergarten. It's gonna be 4-0 at this point of the game, almost 5 minutes, putting them at a 3k gold lead already.
Yeah, 3k gold lead, nothing to scoff at as of yet, because rank tonight, they definitely could equalize that with one turtle takedown, but you can see the rotations coming up from rank tonight though. Going towards even that Clint rotating all the way up top. In fact, a lane swap coming up from Zenka's Kindergarten as well. Pretty macro play in terms of the textbook, but I'm not too sure whether, you know, rank tonight will respond that way, because, you know, with Milim leading charge at the bottom side, but both these two teams are looking at the turtle.
Definitely trying to brawl at the turtle now, seeing who gets it. Zenka Kindergarten definitely having the upper hand, will be able to take it this time. Feathered Airstrike not being able to make any kind of impact.
Yep, no impact at all. It's going to be nice damage coming out from the side of Zenka Kindergarten. They're looking at the mid lane right now. Milim has successfully pushed in, and here we go.
Oh, Milim charging in and leading the way. The damage from Eve is not enough at this moment. He's a lone man up above there, in between two turrets, stunned out, but he is still a high loss, able to escape safe and sound.
High loss provided so much roaming potential as well as so much peel, right? Landing down a Glorious Pathway literally burned every rank tonight, every damage or even skills coming out from rank tonight. Yes, we see a pick off at the mid lane, but Zenka Kindergarten, they penetrated the mid lane of rank tonight.
Yeah, Hylos, you're right. Milim created so much space for his team to just siege the turret, and right now Zenka, they're sitting at 3 turrets ahead of rank tonight. They're getting the kills, they're getting the objectives as well. This is not looking good for rank tonight, although they have the late game, but they need the space to be able to start farming up. Yeah,
there's no space being created from the side of rank tonight. You can see Zenka's Kindergarten, they can create space with Milim. They can also create space technically using that Eve with steady bomb PPs. The way that he actually land down these, you know, real world manipulation, you can see rank tonight, they have all the tools and the answers, but they're pulling out the wrong tool for the wrong job.
Yeah, unfortunately, somehow the twos just not being able to help them complete the jobs. Now, Rank Tonight still sitting at 0 kills, not being able to get the engage. And you know Kufra, Void Go on the Kufra. You want to be able to take some of these team fights as well.
Yep. So it all boils down to Void Go. Okay, nice stun coming out, but what can you do as Rank Tonight? Zenka's Kindergarten is just going to laugh at you and they're going to spread all the damage.
No follow-up, but instead it's going to be Zenka turning on them, and Void Go is the first one to be sent into the coffin. Milim in some trouble here, but the healing is enough. Jelly being just slain by Zenker himself here. It's gonna be 1 kill or 2 kills, I think, for Zenker. Feathered Airstrike just misses off the mark, not quite enough to get him just yet.
Nice juke coming out, but I feel like Ian still wants to find more, but Steady MLBB will be able to sidestep all of the damage. But take a look at that engage coming out from, you know, Rank Tonight. It wasn't there. It wasn't game-changing enough. You need to basically jump in as a Kufra with the team. Rank Tonight, they bring in this 5-man siege. In fact, I prefer Rank Tonight's team fight potential, but they're not actually pulling out.
Again, Steady Bomb PP with the aggression here. It's gonna be Venusian. He can't be the one to die now. He can't afford it, but it's gonna be him. And the next is Jelly. Void Go now in some trouble. Going to be the Thorn Rose as well as the Rafaela taking him down. It's 3 kills already on Rank Tonight, sitting at 9-0.
Oh, this looks very disastrous coming out from side Rank Tonight, right? They've lost so much lead in terms of the goal, in terms of the objectives, and now Zenka's Kindergarten absolutely takes all the control from the jungler away from Rank Tonight. No farm going into their pockets anymore, especially for Green Pika and Venusian. There's no safe lane anymore because of the aggression coming out from, you know, the Lancelot. Beichu just finds all this assassination so well, and it's making it very hard for Rank Tonight.
Jelly, he's pretty much like Jelly now. He doesn't have the kind of tankiness to be able to take the damage still at this point. Just Steady Pom PP himself together with backup with Nino was enough to already take him down. Zenka, they're now sitting at a comfortable lead of 10k.
10k is where you literally have to go next, because 10k, you translate that on an average, at least 1 item difference. Just take a look just now when the items showed all the way up. At least 1 item difference comparing to these two. 1 item could basically change the whole game in terms of the damage. And you know, Zenka Kindergarten, if you notice how Zenka is already swapping all the way to the Renner already, he's just gonna poke. The more Rank Tonight dance around bottom beneath this turret, the shot's definitely gonna land, the damage is gonna go in, the turret's gonna fall.
There you go. First inhibitor turret on the top side of Rank Tonight already down. Zenka, they're turning the sides to the bottom now. Venusian left with a sliver of health trying to get away, but he gets stunned, trying to get out of real manipulation, gets taken down immediately. And here is the Feathered Airstrike in defense, but that's all it's used for, in defense.
Not a very good way to do this, because usually, you know, when you lay down that Yve landing down the real world manipulation earlier just now, right in the middle, I've never seen anyone use that Yve in that. Usually it's like 1 Yve, real world manipulation on 1 turret, but somehow Steady was able to find 2 turrets in this 1 box, and Rank Tonight just lost all that space. And technically speaking, you know, the Farsa doesn't win that Yve in terms of range.
Great positioning. You can see Steady Pom PP 606 at this point. This is why the Eve was first picked. You know that Steady is so comfortable on this hero, and he's showing that exactly now. Zenka, they've already got the Lord now. They're just waiting for it to come up and push.
Yep, this is still a regular Lord. It's not a Luminous one, it's not an Evolved one, but yep, the Super Minions was slightly nerfed a little bit in terms of the stats, but you have an open top lane for the side of Rank Tonight, right? Yes, you do have the Deadly Catch that could potentially change it, but if you take a look how Rank Tonight has been reacting to Zenka's Kindergarten, they've been always using these ultimates and these utilities more on defense. And when you're a team fighting based team composition, you don't want that.
Definitely don't want to use that. And again, Feathered Airstrike here being used defensively, but here's the real manipulation being used aggressively. Milim leading the charge onto Venusian. He's got his focus on Void Go, just focused on trying to get them down. Jelly though gets a kill onto Beichu on the top side here. Will there be a turnaround? It's not going to be. The core is already chunking down, Jace. It's going to be the first game to Zenka Kindergarten.
Well, dominating win going over to the side of Zenka's Kindergarten. They played the lane like textbook. Basically, Chapter 1, You win the bottom lane, you use the marksman at the bottom side, you push in the bottom lane, then chapter 2 comes in, you lane swap almost immediately like clockwork. That's what I love. And don't forget, Beichu has been, even though yes, this is not a very strong looking Lancelot, but he served his purpose. He drives so much fear into Venusian. There's no way that Venusian was able to farm out to become that scary Clint.
Yep.
Yes, I know that Clint was nerfed, but to be honest, you bring him to a couple more rounds, he still feels the same.
Yep.
But you know, Zenka Kindergarten just make sure that Rank Tonight doesn't get that late game Clint, and that the rest is just history.
Yeah, it barely made it into the late
Nope.
game. I mean, the game, they didn't manage to drag it out, and that's where Rank Tonight needed their draft to be
That's right.
at. Unfortunately, not. Well, they do have another chance. It's a best of 3
Yep.
after all, so we'll see if they'll be able to adjust the strategy at all coming into the next game. But Zanka, like you said, they played it methodical, they knew their strategy, and they went for it. And it's hard, right?
It is.
You look at Zanka, now that you ban out a lot of meta heroes like Valentina, Aemon, you don't leave space to ban out comfort picks.
Yep.
And you know, Beichu on Lancelot, Steady on the Eve, those are extremely comfort picks.
Yep, and I love how, you know, Zenka Kindergarten earlier just now during the drafting phase, right? They don't really bother to ban the Eve, they don't really bother to ban the Farsa at all.
Yeah.
And they literally ask, they have choices. They can open up with a Eve first pick, or can they open up with Farsa first pick? And yes, even though they know that the enemy may secure a Farsa for themselves, they don't really care.
You have
because
the Eve.
The Eve
Yeah.
provided so much utility for the side of
Exactly.
Zenka's Kindergarten. Yes, Rank Tonight does have the damage, but most of the time you see all that damage being poured into a defensive
Yep.
war, and that's not what you want in terms of these aggressive heroes.
Yeah, the Feathered Airstrike, even Tyrant's Rage and
Deadly
Revenge.
Catch.
Yeah, Deadly Catch as well, which you're supposed to use to, you know, take down the objectives,
Yep.
zone out people. But when being used defensively, you lose all of that utility. And when you talked about both teams having kind of the same kind of utility, they just didn't manage to execute it so that they went toe-to-toe or head-to-head.
Yep, remember just now I was talking about the fact that Rank Tonight, they wasn't able to find the right tools for the right job.
Yeah.
Zenka's Kindergarten though, they found the correct crayons for the right color. I remember one
Yeah.
of my friends colored like a rabbit green because he can't, he was slightly
Green.
colorblind. But the point being is this, Zenka Kindergarten, they found the brown color or white color rabbit to be colored on. Wait, how do you color rabbit white?
This is a bit
Yeah,
coloring books. I haven't done too much of that. To be
I know, I
honest.
love coloring when I was a kid, right? But the point is, Zenka Kindergarten, they took all that crayons all the way up, they find the right color,
Yeah.
and they just nailed it and drilled Rank Tonight in game number 1.
And I think in this analogy, in this
yeah.
context,
Yep.
it almost seems like Zenka Kindergarten was the one just drafting up the coloring book itself.
Yep.
They created that color, the drawing itself, to be able to know where to play their crayons.
Yep. And I think in terms, they know what kind of draft they want to go in,
Yeah.
and they execute it to the T. Rank Tonight, they tried to do almost the same strategy,
Yeah.
but in terms of execution, Zenka Kindergarten definitely took all that cake. But
Yeah.
I think Rank Tonight, like I said, the Esmeralda was a really wonky pick in my opinion. Like,
And early too.
and it was very early as well. I know there's a lot of pro teams out there that really prioritize the Esmeralda, but I just never like the Esmeralda pick. There's the Lapu Lapu that you can also always
Yep.
consider. Well, I know the Bauman was also quite good in a certain period of time. Other fighters, maybe even the Phobias, right? Because you've got a Lancelot on the enemy side. And of course, well, if you draft a Phobias, I believe Zenka could draft an Esmeralda to counter that very quickly. But you know,
Yes.
Esmeralda, I feel like there's no place for them in this meta
Your
right
team
now.
is picking.
We'll see if they can adjust their draft this time, but it looks like they're going into the exact same bands as the previous game. This time though, it's going to be Ranked Tonight on the first pick.
Yeah, I think first pick is always the scariest, right? You're picking blind. There's no way that you're going to react. So what are you going to pick? There's everything on the table. The Eve, the Farsa,
team
the
is
Clint.
picking.
Oh, okay. The Clint will be first pick immediately.
Okay.
Zenka's Kindergarten is going to go back to the Beatrix and that Eve once again. And, you know, taking away that Red Fella, I don't know. I don't know what to feel about that, but you do need a lot of protection on Venusian at the bottom side because you saw how Zenka's Kindergarten was applying so much pressure against that
Your
Clint
team is
at the
picking.
early game.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about this Clint early pick, I mean, yeah, like you said, still a strong
pick.
hero.
Yep.
If they play this right this time, it could be, but they still let the Eve go through again to steady Pompipi as well as the Beatrix.
Yeah, I feel like Eve could definitely be a better first pick. But I feel like if the side of Rank tonight were to pick the Eve, Steady would just respawn with a Farsa, and then after that with a Yuzhong. That's basically
Your
it.
team
And
is
now
banning.
they're gonna package in with a Mathilda as well. So early game, you have a slight healing over to the side of your end. Basically, it's like a Rafaela, but I feel like the Mathilda provides a lot more utility with a circling eagle
Your
to engage
team
these
is
fights.
banning.
Well, to be fair, you don't have the same kind of healing that Rafaela does. It's
Yeah.
not great, but you know, if you don't have the Estus, it could be something that helps to sustain you a little bit further. So it might work out. This time though, Rank tonight, they're going for the YSS as an early pick instead.
I feel like that's definitely going to be a
Your
comfort
team
pick
is
because
picking.
remember, in game number 1, Zenka banned away the YSS in the second phase
things
ban,
down.
and
Your
now,
team is
oh, I know carry is really fun to play, and I'm hearing news during the advanced server they're really starting to like nerf carry's damage, but at least Beichu is gonna show us a little bit. He's gonna pick up the carry for Karina this time. My bad.
Karina
Yeah.
could be pretty scary, you know.
Karina, my
like,
bad.
and we've seen, you know, on the M3 stage, even
Yep.
Karina being played. So we'll see how this plays out on Beichu, but it's gonna be Yuzhong, Green Pika on the
Your
Yuzhong,
team
and
is
Cyan. At least they're picking up the Selena this time.
Yeah, they're gonna match early game, right? You have the Selena to try to catch people off in the early parts of the game. You do have the Rafaela to provide you with a movement boost so that you'll be able to rotate even quicker. But I feel like from the side of Rank tonight, they might want to pair the Rafaela at the bottom side alongside with this Clint, and now with Beige. Wait, hold on a second.
No, Beichu's playing Karina.
Royal Matador.
So it's going to be a Lancelot gold lane. Wait, it's a Lancelot XP lane. It's
I
gonna be
think
a
so.
Karina tank.
Karina jungle.
Yeah,
No?
Karina jungle
Karina
tank.
jungle tank.
A Mathilda slightly tankier, and
You can sense the confusion right now in like trying to figure out where this draft goes at the moment. But yeah, it's gonna be Beichu on the Karina.
okay.
And probably Lancelot in the EXP lane.
Killing spree on the Karina as well. So, okay. Definitely going to be a tank Karina as well. But I feel like going to game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, Rank tonight. Coming in from in the blue, Zenka's Kindergarten in the red. A little bit of an awkward roster coming off of Zenka's Kindergarten. Milim, you know, on the Lancelot going up against Green Pika on the Yuzhong is going to be a
Yuzhong.
bit confusing in my opinion because, you know, Green Pika Assassin going up again. It's like a game of rock, paper, scissors, right?
Yeah.
Assassin beats Marksman, Marksman beats Fighter, but the Fighter will definitely beat the Assassin, especially in the early parts of the game.
Well, to be fair, they do. Yeah, the fighter has that kind of sustainability, right?
Yes.
And Yuzhong, especially with the Shah residue, it is like he can't die, right?
Yep.
Lancelot definitely, but he does have that damage. And if Milim is comfortable enough on that hero, you never know how it might play out.
Yeah, so I know I'm just removing name tags right now. Right?
Okay.
I'm just looking at them as, you know, from a hero's point of view.
Yeah.
And you're not so technically in the XP lane, you're drafting a weaker opponent, a weaker hero to going up against something that counters you.
Yeah.
So I think that is just pure confidence right there.
Yeah.
But
it boils down to the execution.
It boils down to execution, I agree. But I feel like coming up from Zenka's side of the department, they don't really have a true, solid, hard tank. Yes, the Mathilda.
yes.
Yes, the Mathilda technically will go slightly tankier.
Yeah.
But you know, you got a Yuzhong on the other side. There's definitely
Yes.
going to be sustaining all throughout the way. The Karina, yes, it's going to be a Karina tank.
Hybrid tank.
It's a hybrid
Yes.
tank. She doesn't really have the CC to lock someone down. Well, unless you go for the Thunderbolt first.
Yeah. So yeah, draft wise, I think actually I do prefer rank tonight.
Definitely.
It's more, you know, holistic,
Yes.
if you will, and they have more sustain. You talked about the Yuzhong, they also have the Rafaela to help them along as well. So I definitely think rank tonight's fares better on the draft, but Zenka is just showing all out confidence here with this draft. And to be fair, they do have some space to play because it's a best of 3, they've won one, so so they're sitting in a more comfortable place.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know what, Zenka's Kindergarten really showing all their favorite, you know, coloring books, or crayons or whatever, or color pencils, right? I remember when I was a kid, I always look at the other side of the table. They always bring in the Faber-Castell, and I'm like, some China brand or something like that. I don't know. So it's just feels like Zenka's Kindergarten, there's a lot of confidence in this sort of draft.
Yeah.
They really need to be very comfortable on this land slot to get this early game, especially early game kills against the Yuzhong, or else it would just, the whole draft would just fall apart.
Yeah. So I'm excited though. Like,
see,
even though we said rank tonight is more holistic, I think seeing Zenka and how they play out this draft is going to be extremely interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. So you'd expect a lot of early game to mid game fights, especially when the land slot comes online at level 4. But the problem is, if the assassin would, the land slot would try to roam towards the mid lane, the Yuzhong can follow it with the Blickback Dragon form and just like find him and just land on top of him and just burst him down, but make sure that this assassin wasn't able to get away with all of that. But I think all eyes needs to be on this Karina because it's going up against a new YSS. Technically speaking, I believe YSS still does have a better clear speed as compared to the Karina. But in terms of, you know, if we bring back the rock, paper, scissors, the Karina is an assassin, beats the marksman.
Yes.
So that's
and you have two.
And you have two, that's right.
Yeah, so YSS definitely, I think we're going to see him be in a pretty tough spot given that he's going to be up against two assassins. Going to be have to careful, I guess, as he plays out the brawls and the 1v1s. But jungle, we talked about the battlefield changes. How is that going to impact this?
I feel like you don't really want to invade. I was literally saying, like, I feel like you don't try to invade early game because due to the fact that those heroes with retribution will gain, like, I think 15% damage reduction. 15% damage reduction in their own jungle. So if you want to invade, you have to invade hard, like a whole team. So it's either you 4-man invade, you don't single-man invade anymore to shut them out. Remember the Jawhead back then? Yes, I was the receiving end of that all the time. Seriously, leave me alone, right? Now they will leave you alone, but if they don't leave you alone, they're bringing buddies. Yeah,
and they might bring a few buddies at that.
Exactly. So if you notice how Zenka's Kindergarten game number 1, right? There's not both these jungles are left untouched. There's no hard invade. There's no, like, you know, ways to basically try to disrupt the jungle farming. But you see Zenka Kindergarten focusing a lot at the bottom side because they know they're winning at the top side anyways. So, well, just gang the weaker lane.
And I think the other thing about the draft that might put Rank Tonight at an advantage is the amount of crowd control they have.
Yes.
You have the Selena, you have Rafaela, you have, YSS kinda has a stun. Yuzhong doesn't, a little bit, but he also has the ability to disengage the fight in the back line. But when you look at the draft of Zenka Kindergarten, I feel like it pales a lot in comparison.
Yeah, not enough CC in my opinion, but I feel like, it's like what you said. Even after when we exit out the loading screen, right? I was taking a look at the draft again. I still prefer Rank Tonight's draft if we remove all the nameplates, right?
Sure.
But I feel like going in, what Rank Tonight might need to do is to play the Selena very aggressively. I've been playing a lot of Selena recently, and there's this mantra in my head. Someone just drilled it into my head. It's like this mantra: if you're a Selena and you're not picking up kills, or you're not really helping anyone to kill, then you're not doing anything. If you're playing responsively, then basically this Selena will not scale to the late game and would not do anything else. But speaking about early late game, here we go. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. We need to see the Selena playing aggressively, going on flame shot. Well, technically I prefer to execute myself, but that's why I'm talking here.
We'll see how they play out this draft tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 between Rank Tonight and Zenka Kindergarten. Very interesting draft coming out from Zenka here, but we're gonna see how Rank Tonight is able to play it. Some invades coming in from Zenka Kindergarten. Nino causing some disruptions.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, Rank Tonight definitely should be unfazed unless Nino will attempt to try to steal, but a lot of damage going into the hands of Void Go already. Jelly will try to respond with some damage, but you know, Rank Tonight losing so much health, HP because of that, just to block out someone in the jungle, that's not going to be helpful. And now Benushin is having a lot of trouble at the bottom side.
Yeah, Voigo also hanging around the bushes here, trying to make something work out of Zanker, just shutting the Beatrix down. Like we saw in the last game, Venusian, he needs the space to be able to scale into the late game. So I think they're recognizing that now and they need to give him a bit of help.
Yep, I agree with the rotation of Voigo. Voigo in game number 1 on that Kufra was a little bit wonky, but I feel like the Rafaela should fit his playstyle. But Zanker's Kindergarten though, they're not letting up. You've noticed, you know, with the 2 members hanging around at the bottom side, Cyan on that Selena may probably scout that out. Don't forget, these traps provide vision, and I feel like Rank tonight, if they really want to get game number 2, they need all this vision.
Yeah, and they do have that. They have Selena with the traps as well as the YSS with the Mountain Shocker. Here we go, Thornrose though, up on the top lane here, just pressuring Green Pika a little bit. The turtle is spawning in under 10 seconds, so they're applying that pressure at a great time.
Yeah, applying that pressure is good, but let's take a look at the ultimates. I think Steady is desperately trying to get to level 4, but let's take a look at the level 4 if you compare from the side of Rank tonight, right? What is the level 4 Selena going to do? Nothing. Whereas Zanker Kindergarten, they've got, you know, the big ultimate to zone someone out. Yes, you get to land the Abyssal Arrow, but for what damage and what response, or I would say, so what, you know?
Yeah, unless you land it on someone that's really gonna change the game, right? But here we go, it's gonna be Green Pika that lands the first blood to Zanker Kindergarten, but I think they took the turtle as well?
Yep, Zanker Kindergarten takes 1 kill on the top side, takes the turtle as well, and I don't know, looks very bad because, you know, losing the purple buff, Zanker Kindergarten stealing away the purple buff, that's gonna stall Rank tonight just a little bit in terms of the farm. And like I said, as a YSS, you want to go head to head with a Karina at the same level, and my bad, not same level, 1 level above you with the turtle buff and probably with more items as compared to you. I think this YSS needs to farm even more.
He definitely does. Right now, he's 2 levels behind Beichu at this moment. It's not looking good for him. We talked about the marksman assassin combination. It's not going to be favorable to him at all.
Yeah, Flame Shot was used just as a knockback mechanism once again. Maybe that's why they prefer the Flame Shot as compared to Execute, my bad. That's why I'm stuck here sitting in, talking in the desk, as we see a lot of pressure but from the side of Zanker Kindergarten onto, like I said, Voigo. Yes, he's losing a lot of HP bars, but at least they block it out. But, you know, Zanker Kindergarten, oh, here we go.
Yeah, aggression onto Zanker Kindergarten, immediately just deleted off of the map. So it's paying off. This duo combo here in the bottom lane has helped him a little bit.
Yep, a bit of gang happening. Milim as the assassin will be able to puncture, you know, the YSS just a little bit. Nino, I'm not too sure about this rotation down though, but we'll be able to scout out members of Rank tonight. But I really like the rotation coming up Voigo this time round, really bodyguarding, you know, Venusian, and as well providing so much mad vision over the side of Rank tonight. But Zanker Kindergarten, they're still dominating in terms of, you know, the gold, in terms of the map domination, as well as the tempo as well.
Voigo now spotted out here in the jungle. It's gonna be Abyssal Arrow onto Beiju. He gets stunned 2 times, takes half of his HP here, but Nino is the one taking more damage. Both of them are gonna go down. A double kill for Venusian here. It's gonna be real world manipulation already taken out, but it's gonna be 3 members of Zanker Kindergarten. This is the fight that Rank tonight wants to take.
Yeah, very good landing on top of the Abyssal Arrow. We'll be able to stall the Karina very well, and now Rank tonight will rotate over to the turtle. Zanker Kindergarten, look at the bottom side. Beatrix will be trading that turtle away just for this turret. So I would say that's good pick off coming out from Rank tonight. And Zanker Kindergarten, I feel like, you know, this overconfidence is not paying out very well. They don't really have a very solid hard tank as of yet. There's still definitely farm required for Zanker Kindergarten, but hold on a second. If you take a look from the side of the Karina's build though, is going straight into the Calamity Reaper instead of the Thunderbelt.
Yeah, but like you said, it might not have paid off in that fight, but to be fair, I think Zanker played a very good early game in the beginning. Again, aggression here, Nino with the circling eagle onto Voigo, just a little bit left. He gets the turnaround. It's gonna be Venusian that gets the kill onto him. Steady bomb PP on the side with the real manipulation, but he is spotted out. Half of his HP taken down, but looks like he might get away with this.
I don't think so, because Venusian, he probably has the better range, but here we go, alright. The reason why Rank tonight is basically should be winning is because of this Selena. Once you land down these arrows, that's it. Rank Tonight could try to look to collapse. And don't forget, Rank Tonight comes in with a more balanced draft. Not a very aggressive, greedy draft coming out from Zenka's Kindergarten. And of course, Benushin now is a 5 kill, 0 deaths Clint. So he should be up and running very quickly already. But you see, with the Karina first skill, you do have this AA immunity. So Benushin has to know how to play around this, but Zenka Kindergarten, they're now on playing in a slight back foot. They don't really have someone to hide behind, and of course, losing turrets is definitely not going to look very well for the side of Rank Tonight.
Yeah, Rank Tonight, they've gotten one turret though. Zenka Kindergarten, they're not letting up. Look at the pressure coming from Nino just off of the middle side of the map. But Rank Tonight, they know their strategy this time around. Protect the Clint, let Venusian scale to the late game and do the work.
Yep. Big explosive damage, but here we go.
Void Go in trouble. Flicker gets him away. Beichu is the one in trouble now, and he takes the hit for it. It's a real manipulation. It's gonna come down. Is it gonna be enough? Here comes the Ryuchong Green Pika trying to hunt down Steady Bomb PP. He is a lone man though. It's gonna be so far 1 for 2 across the two teams, and they're still going at it. Milim in some trouble. Green Pika putting out the shots that they need. Nino, they're just fighting it out at this point in time. The two teams, it looks like they're gonna choose to disengage for now.
Oh, I think Zenka Kindergarten was a little bit, tunnel vision on the wrong target. Your main target is Venusian. They are unable to find him. He's always on full health. Rank Tonight provides so much peel for themselves, and Zenka Kindergarten, they fell for that bait. Don't forget, if you notice, Beichu was a little bit too greedy, went for trying to kill Rank Tonight, and then suddenly everyone appeared from the brushes. It's not safe for Zenka Kindergarten to try to invade anymore. Zenka Kindergarten, they gotta play it a little bit slower. Rank Tonight is slowly catching up in terms of that goal lead.
Definitely. Remember, we talked about the CC that they have. They have the front line, they have the CC, and some bit of sustain as well. It's extremely dangerous for Beichu to just go all in like that.
Yeah, so Zenka Kindergarten, the late game comes into the fact that Beatrix, well, technically from afar, you should be able to land a shot. You force Venusian back, and that's how you re-engage. I think once you don't need to kill Venusian. You just have to make sure that he's low, and then, make sure that he pulls all the way back. And now Milim may find himself in a bit of trouble, but bottom side.
Green Pika that's in trouble here. The Black Dragon form being popped, but no turrets here for him to get to safety. They're trying to chase him, but too far ahead. The Dragon takes him all the way back to safety.
Yeah, both sides, Milim was actually in a very dangerous zone, but now Rank Tonight will focus in the mid lane.
They go all the way to the mid lane here. Stuns out 2, but it's gonna be Zenka Kindergarten that's in trouble. Actually, they're trading out 2 for 2 at this point. It's gonna be still across the board. They're still fighting it out hit to hit and just trying to get back on even ground.
Yeah, trying to get back on even ground is very important for the side of Zenka's Kindergarten. However, the arrow will land, but look at that. Nino just chasing the sneaky Selena away. So it's really well fought coming out from the side of Zenka's Kindergarten. Even though they know they're playing on the back foot, Rank Tonight, they need to be careful. This Selena will become a -half when you go into the late game, right? Because what you're going to do, a long range stun, that's probably game for the side of Zenka's Kindergarten, but Rank Tonight has to be careful because if you take a look at Zenka's Kindergarten, they will scale as compared to a Selena where it's scaling downwards.
Yeah, Zenka Kindergarten do have the Beatrix, but they also have pretty early game heroes, right?
Yep.
So in terms of scaling, I feel like they might actually match themselves up.
Yeah, but I definitely prefer the Eve and the the Beatrix in the late game as compared to a Selena in the late game, right? You also have Cyan that's gonna fall off into that long range committal stun, a non-committal engage.
Yep.
Hopefully that lands, but looking at the hit rate coming out of Cyan, pretty hard. But it's like what I was talking about when we enter the game, right? As a Selena, you need to help to assist.
Yeah.
Yes, there's an assist going in for the side of Venusian already, but they need to try to convert. Rank Tonight slowly losing the gold lead once again, even though they have a dominant mid game.
Yeah, they're trying to, and Zenka Kindergarten, even though they're playing on the back foot, you see they're winning the objective game at this point. They have 3 turrets, and right now they are the ones in the aggressive positioning for the Lord.
Yep, aggressive positioning is going to be going into the side of Zenka's Kindergarten, just zoning out members of Rank Tonight away. Rank Tonight, there's no way for them to engage. That's really well fought, right? Rank Tonight should not be in this position. You can see what I said. Zenka's Kindergarten definitely going to scale even harder as compared to this Selena.
Yeah, rank tonight, it all depends on Venusian here.
Yep.
They need him to be able to be in the fights and take out somebody, and you can see that they're just crowding around and protecting him. Here comes Voigo with the initiation and the flicker. Steady Pompipi retreats immediately as well. Zenka Kindergarten, they're on the run, but Zenka himself is trying to put out the bullets. Here comes Beishu though in the middle of everyone, and he manages to take out Jelly, but they get the counter kill onto him. Roll manipulation, is it gonna be enough? They take one out. Again, they're trading 2-for-1 at this point. Zenker, they get the upper hand in this fight.
Zenker getting the upper hand when Milim is actually hard shoving at the top side. Rank tonight is losing all these fights, and that's not supposed to happen. There should be conversion happening, but we don't see it happening right now. Zenker Kindergarten, yes, they know they're playing a back foot game. They shifted gears, and they're trying to drag this whole game even out. So really well played over the side of Zenker Kindergarten, and once again, they gain position over at the Lord Pit.
They gain position, but here's the Mountain Shocker. Rank tonight, they know that they're doing it. Are they going to contest it is the question.
Are they going to contest it? I believe they need to, because rank tonight almost equal in terms of the gold lead. Yes, 2k, I would say it's nothing to scoff at for now, but Zenker's Kindergarten, they always get... You see how rank tonight, they burn a flicker to try to regain control, but they lose way too much when they try to catch on top of Steady Bomb PP. That was very good, you know, target prioritization. But once again, Zenker Kindergarten is not supposed to be at the Lord Pit because rank tonight is unable to secure that King of the Hill.
Definitely, we're supposed to see rank tonight taking the aggressive positioning, but it's not happening at the moment. Zenka Kindergarten again trying to take this Luminous Lord this time, and Mountain Shocker being popped, maybe for some damage, maybe for some vision, but you know that rank tonight, they want to contest this, and it's down to the execution.
Yeah, Zenka Kindergarten very patient, just making sure that rank tonight to start to show off their carelessness. Now they're gonna 5-man focusing at the mid lane right now.
Cyan in some trouble here, but they turn their sights onto Jelly instead. They want to take down the carries here. They both get chunked down to less than half health, and it's gonna be Jelly that's going down. Here's the Black Dragon form trying to zone out the back line. It's not going to be enough for rank tonight. Again, they lose one member as well as the mid-tier turret.
No, Zenka Kindergarten never thought of actually taking anyone from the side of rank tonight down, and now they take the mid lane turret, and they also picked up Jelly, which is also the jungler. Rank tonight cannot afford to steal this Lord away, so technically Zenka Kindergarten secured the Lord at that mid lane fight.
They definitely did off of that fight, and they turned their sights to the objective and converted it immediately. 2 to 5 turrets, 5k gold ahead together with a Lord. How is Zenka Kindergarten doing this with their draft?
Trust me, Zenka Kindergarten, I feel like the most important build they did was the Demon Hunter Sword on Zenka. Take a look. Demon Hunter Sword, Wind of Nature, is a very auto attack base, well, also attack speed rate base. Beatrix to be able to shut down Green Pika, who is basically building on a lot of HP. You melt this person down where, you know, the Yuzhong tried to go for you. I think that's the way that Zenka Kindergarten got all the way back. And don't forget, Milim is always playing cross-map. Dragging rank tonight, you know, draft apart, and now you're forced to send one person to focus on him. That creates so much space over to Zenka's Kindergarten once again. Milim always creates space.
Again, it's Steady Pompipi this time creating space. They've already gotten the mid inhibitor turret here. It's a 3-lane siege at this point, Jace. They've gotten the top as well, the Luminous Lord, and the bottom. They're making their way down now into the base. Here's the Mountain Shocker being popped just for some damage. They're trying to put up the defense, but it's gonna be Nino that gets out, stunned out in the middle now. Are they able to make this defense? Jelly is down there, Carry is down. Where is Venusian? He falls as well. It's gonna be the core. It's Zenker Kindergarten taking the second game.
Zenka Kindergarten, well played at that last fight right there. I was actually skeptical at the last fight. I don't think Zenka's Kindergarten was able to put a full stop into this game, but they managed to find it. There's not a lot of, like, you know, damage that they're putting onto the heroes. They're actually focused down the core. Just take a look at Zenka right now as this Beatrix, only 13% damage dealt to the other heroes and 67% turret damage. Zenka sees one target, and that's the turret.
Yeah, and they know that, right? They can go straight and dive in for the target. That's exactly what they're playing to.
And it really boils down to this, right? Zenka Kindergarten, it takes skill to know how to play your own hero. It also takes skill to know how to, you know, what to do, decision making, but it also takes another skill, another level of skill to know what you need to stop doing, i.e. stop going for the kills. We rotate out of control. You want to fight, we'll fight with you, but
Yep.
we'll try to make some cross-map plays. That's always happening at other side of the map because Milim once again creates
Yeah.
so much space. Be it a high loss, be it a Lancelot.
Lancelot.
Yeah.
And Lancelot creating space.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. And you talked about knowing when to take the kills.
That's right.
Like when you play an assassin, it's tough to know sometimes that you need to go back to the macro game.
Yep.
But they see it exactly. They know how they have to play according to the game plan, and they did that.
Yes, and there's a lot of times where Zenka Kindergarten, I would say, entered that fight, especially the last team fight, right? I think that was a little bit iffy. Had Zenka Kindergarten not focused on the core, if
Yeah.
the Beatrix was actually participating in that team fight, I think Zenka might have just got team wipe right there, and then Rank
Yeah.
tonight will probably take more turrets away.
They almost did actually.
They
I
almost
mean,
did.
you saw the entire draft of Zenka just crashing into, but I
Yep.
think they went a bit deep as well and falling low. But
Yeah.
well, the core didn't stand for too long. They
Yep.
had all the inhibitors down, so it was still to their favor.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, micro is like, okay, micro, you're good at micro, fine. But I feel like the one thing that would never fail you, the macro game, the decision
Yeah.
making, what to do when this happened. I feel like what Zenka Kindergarten showed us is just pure macro play. Yes, you got micro with the
Yeah.
you got micro in terms of the Milim, you also got micro in terms of steady point PP, but as a team on its own, they're really good on this macro plays.
Yeah, and you can see that when
Yep.
you choose heroes that are not meta. On paper, they look like the worst off draft,
Yep.
but somehow they pull it off still.
Yeah, so I think it just boils down to macro player. Game number one, it feels like, yes, macro play still plays a part, but they're winning in micro because of Milim on a high loss, winning the top side. But game number two is also just macro play, play, right? Macro play would definitely turn this game around. If there's one thing they're sending a message out, is that if everything fails, just fall back to macro play.
Yep, so they managed to do that, and of course, congratulations to
Definitely.
Zenka Kindergarten for taking this
Ooh.
series, and it was a good effort put up by Rank tonight. Still, there has to be a winner, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll see Zenka Kindergarten in the next series of semi-finals as well. But before that, we'll go into a short break. Don't go away, and we'll be right back with you.
Stop wasting time on sharing reviews on social media without being recognized by the brand you support. You&Me mobile app is a social media e-commerce platform that values consumers' reviews and recommendations with loyalty rewards for products and services you care about. Our 8-app integrated news feed allows consumers to see recommendations based on their interests and be inspired by good buys shared by other users in the community. On the review page, consumers can explore and participate in campaigns by creating creative content reviews of their favorite brands, tag the products that they recommend, and enjoy the satisfaction that comes from becoming co-creators of brand values. We value each reviews and recommendations with loyalty points that can be applied towards their next purchase or be converted into cash rewards. Consumers, you hold the key to a brand's growth and reputation. Your trust, enthusiasm, and patronage should be appreciated and rewarded. Be part of You&Me's word-of-mouth movement now. Share the good, good to share.
What if I told you a mouse was designed by a YouTuber? Probably just a cash grab, right? But what if I told you that YouTuber built their channel on reviewing mice? Has over 250 gaming mice in his house, 150 mouse reviews on the channel, and over 22 years experience in first-person shooters. Yeah, this isn't a cash grab. This is about taking mice to that next step. I started the Rocket Jump Ninja YouTube channel because I realized I aimed better with certain mice. And others did too. Mice have come a long way in that time. Performance is amazing, but there's still one thing that's being neglected. And when it comes to aim, shape is king. I've spent the last year testing my theories on design, and my aim has never been better. So here it is. My experience, my creation. The Xtrify MZ1, Zeiss Rail.
I want to extend our warmest welcome to you on behalf of Apple and on behalf of M1.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Asia Esports Festival X Comic-Con MLBB Community Tournament, brought to you by Esports Entertainment Asia, or EEA, and Comic-Con.
And of course, we are supported by Bell's Academic Group, Buildtech, Excel Games, M1, Monster Cat, Mountain Dew, OSIM, Safra, Scorpio, Electric, Shure, Umisushi, You and Me, Esports Time, See Here Live, Asia One, Game Pro. Thank you very much for making this happen, and the fact that we can actually cast offline in, especially in one box rather than two different boxes.
Yes.
Right.
And if you're watching this at home, we actually have, like, you know, viewers and the players playing on site as well. It's so different from doing an online event. So thank you all for tuning in, whether you're on site or off site. It means a lot to community tournaments like this, and we're so happy to be here.
Yeah, and you know, speaking about community tournaments, especially offline, right? I believe we all went out during the break. We're like, and then people actually come. I basically like some people actually approach me and ask them for tips and tricks. I think that is just like, you know, the whole point of being a part of a community as we grow, not only just in terms of skill level, but also in terms of the platform. But speaking of which, we do have the draft online. So ladies and gentlemen, on to the next game. This is game number 1. Also a semi-final, vying for the grand final for both these two teams. Bushi on the left-hand side. Sorry, I'm very bad with my directions. One Piece
Your team
on the right.
is banning.
Yeah, remember, they're fighting to go into the grand finals here. So this is a make or break. The one who wins this best of 3 series is going to be in the next grand final series.
Yeah, technically speaking, this is a single elimination. This is still best of 3. But technically speaking, I know this sounds like a loophole. This feels like a double elimination because you do still have the bronze match to do. So you, even though if you're out, right, you're not completely out as of yet. I'm not really talking about the bans right now because it's almost well, common suspects except
Beatrix.
for the Beatrix ban.
Yeah, Beatrix. Well, she still does have. Well, she has 4 guns.
Yep.
To begin with, she has 4 guns. Okay, and she has very good wave clear.
5.
So if you don't want to
5 guns.
5 guns.
Nibiru has 2.
Okay. Okay, fair. But I guess they banned out the Beatrix because they wanted to pick up the Nathan here. It's gonna be taken up by One Piece on the side of Bushies. They're gonna go for the Yi first pick.
Yeah, I remember you were mentioning about this, right? This glue was super annoying during the
Yes.
during the technically non-semi-finals part, basically when we're duking it out in a round of 8, all those kind of stuff. I think it was Gucci, right, on that glue that was super annoying. That's one of his comfort pick. But now it is going to be a Clint and also a Lolita going in from the side of Bushies. I really like the Lolita pick, right? Especially exploded into, you know, into popularity, like around the nearing part, the end part of MPL Singapore, and of course in M3 as well. I'm shouting out to
Your team
Q
is
Dicey
banning.
on the Lolita and also JPL, but it's also going to be the Rafaela on the right hand side. This Nathan is very suspicious, right? You know, you can toggle between going to the gold lane, can also toggle to go into the jungle, so I believe that's a very good flex pick coming out from One Piece.
Yeah, no retry as of yet, but I guess they're still not giving it away. How effective is this Lolita against the current draft?
Oh, very good, because, you know, one shield could just block, you know, the Nathan's projectiles and basically nullify his damage. That's why the Lolita was really preferred during M3, especially when Nathan was running rampant in the draft. But now it's going to be a Karina ban on the side of One Piece, and Bushi is banning away the Selena. I'm pretty sure Swirl would love to play the Selena, but I mean, he's on the Eve already. But now it is up to, I would say, One Piece to pick up the Yuzhong, but no, they're going to go for the Veil instead.
Oh, Veil's still really annoying to play with, you know, the CCs and the entire burst damage. And if they manage to get it off on, you know, Clint or Yves, that's going to be pretty difficult to deal with.
Yeah, and yeah, I think Veil is not too bad. The zone denial, especially when, you know, the Eve goes into real world manipulation. He's stationary, it's basically one free shot with the ultimate. However, the Hurricane does get absorbed by the Lolita, and it's going to be Lancelot all day this tournament.
Bush on the Lancelot, and to top it off, Banto on the Yuzhong as well. We know how effective he is. Exactly, comfort pick. So this One Piece is gonna have to be able to match their pace, I think, in the last pick here, hovering over a YSS.
Yeah, this basically screams. I like the way they, you know, One Piece basically unveils their draft. They're like, oh, Nathan's gonna be the jungle, haha, don't press the emergency button, we're not sus at all. And then suddenly in the last pick, they unveiled the YSS being the jungle. All damage has to come from Veil and YSS as well as the Nathan. The glue has to play basically, I would say, off the map and basically being annoying. But if you remove the glue from the from One Piece, it's kinda squishy, if you ask me.
Exactly, but first you have to get past glue, and we know we've seen the games where Gucci was just absolutely insane on the glue, so
but
we'll see.
Yeah, but Gucci is always playing cross map away from the team fight, whereas Bushi's, right, is definitely going to fight as 5. They prefer to fight as 5. Well, they can fight as 4 with Bento in the Black Dragon form to basically send down reinforcements to the sites that's required, and like I said, the Yuzhong, I think, is really good to hunt down Veils and as well as the Nathan, especially after the entropy coming out.
Yep, but we'll see, ladies and gentlemen, as we hop into game 1 between Bushies and One Piece. Bushies on the blue side and One Piece on the red side, already putting up some damage onto Raging Raibi here. Some half of his HP taken out, but I think he's gonna be safe for now.
Yeah, I think after Nathan's getting nerfed in terms of the early game, so reduce clearing speed, especially if you reduce the attack speed stacks already. So I believe if you want to see in the Nathan, it's mostly going to go into the gold lane. If you notice, well, these two teams, they don't really prioritize the Nathan ban. Well, especially Bushi, right? They don't really prioritize the Nathan ban anymore, in my opinion. Not really ban worthy anymore. It's going to be a bit slower in terms of the clearing speed, and take a look.
Stings though playing the aggression, coming all the way up to the tower of Bushi's, but gonna be taking damage instead. Here is Bushi invading the jungle. Don't think he got that buff just yet.
Nope.
Still went to JM here. So right now they're pretty even, still keeping up their pace.
Yeah, pretty even much. Not a very aggressive lineup, especially from the side of Bushi's though. They're making sure that Lancelot comfortably farms all the way up to level 4 and then decides to fight it out. Don't forget, coming up next should be the turtle at the top side, but Bushi's are focusing at the bottom side.
Yeah, when you talked about Bento on the Yuzhong, right? I like that this is able to, go right deep in for Sky, but on the side of One Piece, it's like they're playing defense. They're gonna have to peel instead of engage, whereas Bushi's, they have the flexibility to engage or disengage.
Yeah, and it's not just the Yuzhong that allows Bushi's to engage and disengage, right? Kirby's Yu on that Lolita with the Luminum Blast is a very good engaging tool and also disengaging tool.
Here we go, Bento going deep into the backline, already getting 3 kills off of that Bushi's. You blink and you miss it.
Yep.
3 people down on the side of One Piece, just like that.
Yeah, just like that. One Piece, literally, it's like what I said, right? You have 4v4 right now. Bushi's on one side, One Piece on the other side. Gucci is definitely going to always play cross-map. That's how you play a glue. But then you don't draft a tank. Rafaela is definitely going to have to play kiting backwards, as Bushi's, they will want to chase after you, right? With the Clin, with especially Kirby stunning down. Now Gucci finding a bit of pressure, the top lane side, and now here comes the engage.
Bush diving into the turret here, just trying to get Gucci. It's 4 men up on the top side here, just trying to get him.
Yeah,
but
4 men.
he's a glue, so he survives for now. And One Piece, they're playing it, they need to be able to get Sky to the late game. It's like the Clint, right? So you see basically Stings just babysitting him to be able to get to that point.
Yeah, and I really like Sky's One Piece decision to basically babysit the bottom side and also sending Misslin all the way down to the bottom side to put a lot of pressure. First, you allow that Nathan to scale, and also you don't allow. I almost said disallow, but that's not a word, right?
I think it might be.
Is that a word? Someone please fact check us. You don't allow Raging Ryby to scale all the way up, but here comes a reinforcement. You can see Blink once again. Sky looking a little bit low.
Yeah, I think we missed it, but somehow Stings went down in that fight and Sky escaped with just a little bit of health.
Yeah, and it just boils to show that there's not enough tankiness coming out from the side of One Piece, especially when you want to fight 4v4. They do have Kirby, right? Remember, absorbing all these projectiles has been very crucial. In fact, you saw that at the bottom side. Sky sending a second skill. It did not knock up anyone from the side of Bushi's because Kirby's Yu absorbed that, destroying that projectile.
Right now, Bushi is sitting at 5 kills to 0, and they're at about a 2 to 3k gold lead, so they are playing to their advantage here. You see Gucci still all the way up here, while the rest of the team members are here to contest the turtle at the bottom. Sting spotted out in some trouble. Here's the Void Crystals to slow him down, and Nominal Blast connects, and he will be deleted.
Yeah, letting down Luminum Blast, especially when someone's running away, is like trying to stab someone with a cleaver, right? It's like a little bit overkill.
Slow-mo cleaver, but he managed to get it. Here's a real manipulation. The flicker, he gets stunned out, manages to escape, but here's Raging Ryby with the finish.
Right place at the right time, I would say. Raging Ryby has the map dominance right now, rotating all the way. Not actually fighting at the bottom side, but here you go, 5v5.
Ooh, Stings again, slowed down by the Void Crystal, and here's Raging Ryby again, manages to clean it up. He's getting some kills now. This isn't going to be good for One Piece.
Not very good for One Piece. You crack open the mid lane already, and don't forget, it is a Bush on that Lancelot duty. Now, it's a 3 Musketeer man around. It's just causing so much havoc all around the map. Take a look. I don't think One Piece know what's going on. I feel like what Bush just decides to break formation, and here we go.
1 kill down at the bottom. They managed to get Bushi's, and then again they went all the way up to get Gucci, get a second one. Here's Misslin trying to escape from the skin of his Steve, it's gonna be Swirly Swirl picking up credit for that one. 3 kills to Bushi's.
To be honest, with you Garbage Cheeks, I am very confused how the Bushi's decision to basically rotate. Don't forget, bottom side is still very much standing, right? And then suddenly they decide to rotate all the way to the top side. No, I'm sorry, they rotated to the mid lane, cracked that open, and then proceeds to rotate all the way up top. I believe One Piece is definitely taken off guard, especially of the aggression of Kirby, you know, finding these pickoffs from One Piece and just melting them down with Swirly Swirl.
Again, Bento, look at his health. It's less than half of his health. It's still pressuring onto Stings. He's low on health. Will he be able to get it? The turret gets the better of him. Sky chasing the kill. The last hit will connect, and it's a dead Bento for you. This gives the opportunity for One Piece to take this turret on the bottom side by Bushi's. They're rotating down here, and One Piece, they spot it out, but here's the pincer attack. The first hit onto Sky. Real manipulation. The burst damage is enough to take him down. Sky, slow-mo running now, but I believe there's nowhere for him to go.
Definitely no. Bushi's are rotating as 4 right now. Like One Piece, they're not rotating as 4. They still have this preconception that they're still in the laning phase. But Bushi has already swapped gear. They've already gotten all this lead they require. Farming phase is over for Bushi's, and now One Piece playing catch up, playing, you know, trying to farm, but I don't think they should farm anymore. They need to really rotate as 4. Just farm together right now because Bushi's, they're already online. They're really ready to handshake this fight. One Piece cannot afford to handshake any fights right now.
Sky though already going down. He's at 1 to 3 now. He needs to be able to scale, but it's not looking good. Bushy Bush trying to get the turtle. Here comes Gucci though on the glue signature, just trying to chase them out a little bit.
Yeah, and we talk about creating space, right? Gucci, you don't see him really creating a lot of space. Yes, there's a bit of a penetration coming up from breakthrough coming up from One Piece at the top side, but you know, Bushy Bush, they have it. Oh, here we go.
Oh, the huge Nomad on blast onto Misslin, and it's gonna be Swirly Swirl that picks up the kill. Gucci tries to save him, but has to flicker out to safety. Kirby on the HUD leading the charge. One more hit will do the trick. It's gonna be Raging Ryby picking that up.
Yeah, it's just Lolita creating so much pressure and so much space, and here we go again. Nowhere to run is going to be the Rafella from One Piece. The slow on the Void Crystals is definitely more than enough to allow Bushi's to pick that up for themselves. And remember, Bushy Bush was very slow in terms of the early parts of the game. Once he picks up all the necessary lead and he starts to go all the way ham. I feel like the fact that, you know, One Piece is unable to predict that sudden mid-game push that's just really tossing them off their
Gucci trying to peel for the rest of the team in the front, but immediately just gets blown up together with Sky. It's gonna be a double kill. Actually, you blink and you miss it. It's fall down on the side of One Piece now. Bushi's, they're cracking over the base entirely. It's gonna be one inhibitor turret down. They're going for the next one in the middle. JM, the Lone Ranger, to defend this, but there's nothing much he can do.
Nothing much you can do as a YSS. You can only poke from afar with your second skill, and no offense, I am not very optimistic with what One Piece is trying to do.
Bento, all out aggression here, diving in with the Black Dragon form, and the damage is going to fall onto all the members of One Piece. They have to go back to the base to heal. Bushi's are right up to their necks here in the aggression. Are they gonna go for the core is the question. They don't have the minions to do it at this point.
Yeah, but the second wave of minion will be going all the way in, but One Piece still landing down the defense at the same time. Bushy Bush. Whoa!
That Rose, he manages to get Sky, but it's gonna be the turret that reverses onto him, and he gets taken down. Sky, though, eventually being picked up and taken care of by Swirly Swirl.
Yeah, it's gonna be, you know, very different. I think One Piece is really putting up a good defense against Bushy. Swirly Swirl a little bit late for the party. Real world manipulation could have done very good right there, but at least One Piece do have the bottom side turret still up. But let's take a look at our items on the gold leaf, right? It's just way too much for One Piece to handle all the way back. Bushy, well, we just blink and One Piece just gets instantly deleted. There's no hard tanks, and because Bushy is just creating so much space, Kirby landing down the Luminum Blast once again. Gucci, what can you do?
Gucci split all the way into 4 members of Bushi's. I think he's just trying to make a play here. Unfortunately, too much firepower on the side of Bushi's, and now they have the advantage. They're gonna go all the way in with the Black Dragon form onto Sky. Takes a lot of damage. Void Crystal not enough to get him at this point. Bushi's, will they be able to do it this time? They have the Lord though, so they can opt to take that objective first.
Yeah, 4 men right now, One Piece. Oh no, that is bad news over the side of One Piece right now. At least Gucci is going all the way up. Bushi is just deleting one member of One Piece at a time.
Oh, Raging Raibi sitting at 11-0 kills. He's extremely fat and just chunking down on the HPs of One Piece here. Gucci tries to make it back to the base, but it's gonna be a triple kill for Raging Raibi. Now they're sieging onto the corner. It's gonna be the game to Bushi's, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1.
Game number 1 goes over to Bushi's in a very dominating fashion. One Piece, yes, they're trying to fight 4v4, but the Rafaela wasn't very tanky, and it's always, Kirby's here. Just take a look. 5-0-15. In my eyes, that's a 15-0-5 to me, because Kirby created so much opportunity for Sword to just burst the members all the way down bit by bit. And don't forget, once Raging Raibi is, raging up all this gold, he's basically gonna just stomp everyone, and no matter what Sky wants to do as the Nathan, don't forget there's always this Lolita shield that will just absorb all the projectiles. Second skill, if it doesn't land, this Nathan wasn't able to do everything. He wasn't able to converge all his targets together, wasn't able to get all his stacks, wasn't able to spill all the damage from the first skill to everyone. Basically, this Nathan is just cancelled, right?
Yeah.
And I feel if you want to fight 4v4, you can, but you just need to bring along someone that's tankier to engage, to initiate the fight.
Yeah, I mean, it came down to the draft as well,
Yep.
right? They picked the Nathan up early, and then came the Lolita to counter him. So it's a bit tough, and they adjusted their strategy to send Rafaela to babysit him, basically. But it just wasn't enough to get him. Still, Raging Raibi managed to get a hit.
Yeah, and when that happens, you saw Bushi just decided to, I think, in my opinion, the whole game was a little bit wonky for both of these two sides, especially that early mid-game part where you're like,
It's a bit
hold on,
slow.
not say slow, but hold on a minute. Once Raging Raibi just depletes the gold energy at the bottom side, he just rotates all the way up to top side.
Yeah.
He just don't care anything, and he's like, oh, you know what? There's a turret along the way. I'll just pick it up in the mid lane. You crack that open, and that's just gone. One Piece in terms of the main central defense is gone. Bush could, as the Lancelot, could sneak into all these turrets very easily, and then the rest is just history, right?
Yeah.
And if there's a lesson to take away from this game, mid lane turret is really important.
Yeah, I mean, once you get that, you crack open a lot of space, right?
Yep.
You create the space to take objectives, to take turrets, and basically rotate for the rest of your team.
Yep, that's right. And of course, you fight 4v4. Like, Gucci tried to make a play right there,
Yeah.
but I feel like, Vicious was really far ahead in terms of the damage. I don't think a glue, even with a lot of regen and sustain, is definitely unable to do anything at all. And if you notice, there's not a lot of opportunities that this glue was able to find this target to single out.
Yeah.
I think what One Piece could have done is to not fight cross map. I feel like maybe you change up the strategy just a little bit. You play this glue to join the fight, to create havoc, to slow down. Don't forget, you reduce damage, especially when you apply these passive. You single out this one person, you bring it to your team, and you just gobble it up. Because I feel like the fact that you allowed the Lolita to just run rampant to dictate the whole game is really, really detrimental for your draft.
Yeah, I think the reason why the glue was really successful is because the rest of his team was also set up to be able to help. So he could peel for the team, he could disrupt the enemy front lines.
That's right.
But in this case, his back line was suffering too much for him to be able to make any impact up front.
Yep.
So, I don't know, do you think Glue's still a viable pick? How should One Piece change in the next game?
I feel like Glue was a real comfort pick, right? And,
Yeah.
well, Nathan got nerfed. You saw that, ladies and gentlemen, and don't forget, you draft a Nathan, sure, I'll draft a I draft a Lolita and I'll just eat your projectile. And you like I said, you don't see. There's two things that you have to happen from the side of One Piece, right? Glue, possessing one person, dragging him all the way in. Secondly, the second skill of Nathan has to land so that people converge and eat all that damage.
Yeah.
You don't see those two conditions happening, and therefore, in terms of team fight, it got a little bit wonky. And all of a sudden, especially like I said in that part, early mid game, Bushi's was playing the numbers game, 4v2, constantly. One Piece is desperately trying to farm, but you have this foreman just appearing from the sidelines out of nowhere, and that's what and why that happened. Your mid lane, first tier turret is gone. that's basically allowed that to happen.
The space, and I think also One Piece, they needed Nathan to get online.
That's right.
But they didn't have the space to be able to do that. But on the other side, Bush, Lancelot, you play well in the early game. You can help your teammates to scale even further.
Yeah, and I feel like Bush wasn't doing a lot of damage. In fact, he was just farming a lot in jungle. The one that created so much space is that Lolita.
Kirby, yeah.
Yeah, Kirby just created so much opportunity, ambushing. Not only say picking up kills with that, wonky.
Well, he did pick up a
kills
kill.
secured, right? Yeah. Like I said, that time when you're bringing a cleaver into a pencil fight or something, I don't know. Like the point is in terms of the rotation, Bushi, once they crack open the mid lane, everything is just history, right? One Piece suffered a lot. They lost access to their own jungle. They lost the dominance in terms of the lanes, and it just was all the way down. I feel like if Gucci wants to continue as a glue, he can. But I would say you play a solo game. You play a solo game. You just try to push down one lane, and then after that you change it around.
So get a strong mid to be able to fight wave clear and not lose your mid lane so early.
Yeah.
And then be able to hold your fort before you farm up and take the team fights.
I think the fact that One Piece neglected the mid lane, I think that's what just snowballed out of control, because I think Bushi, it's not about who rotates faster, but One Piece is supposed to rotate faster with the Rafaela, right?
Yeah.
But Bushi was able to just out-rotate every single one. Like, they drag a lot of members at the bottom side. I think One Piece was focusing a lot at the bottom side, on top of Nathan. Remember, at one period of time, you send 3 members all the way down, and what happens if there's 3 members all the way in the bottom side? Mid lane is open.
Yep, mid lane's open. Well, they did ban out the Beatrix in the first banning phase, so it could be, if you swap that around, maybe Beatrix in the mid lane could work better with the wave clear instead of the Nathan.
I would say Beatrix as a mid lane is good, but I prefer him as a side lane.
Gold
because
lane,
I prefer the Farsa on the Eve to take that over. But
That's
speaking of
true.
which, let's take a look at the draft, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it is going to be a draft issue. I think it's just going to be a rotation issue. As we take a look at game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be One Piece going in first pick,
Your
banning
team
away
is
the
banning.
Beatrix once again.
Yeah, once again, Beatrix. And on the side of Bushi's, they're going to take out the Valentina.
Yep, pretty standard bans, I would say. And if I were One Piece, I would ban away that Eve. Okay, they're going to go for the Aemon right now.
Your team is
And if
banning.
I were Bushi's, I'll ban away the Esthers, because this UBE is just way too broken right now in terms of the healing. But that opens up to the Eve, whether One Piece will take the Eve for themselves. And I believe Bushi's does have the comfort pick, but no, okay, they're going to ban the Eve away instead. Esther's open, Clint is open, well, technically, Nathan is open if, One Piece wants to go for that again.
I guess they didn't want to deal with the Eve on the other side, but it looks like they're going to still go for the Nathan.
Yep, Nathan will be picked once again from the side of One Piece. Once again, this boils down to the question, are they going to bring this Nathan to the jungle, or are they going to go gold lane? My opinion, I would say the jungle is a little bit safer, if you ask me, this time around, due to the damage reduction. But it's going to be definitely good. Esther's getting locked in by the side of Bushies. I basically smelled it from a mile away. Bento will be picking up the Ruby for himself.
Ruby also a comfort pick for Bento, I think. And now you combine that with the ultimate bonding experience, the lifesteal, and that healing. This is gonna be a real prolonged team fights, if you will, for any of them to die.
Yeah, so I feel like what One Piece needs to look for is consistent damage, right? Yes, the Nathan does have burst damage. After that, it's just using the auto attack for consistent damage. I think that works. Farsa getting picked up for the side of One Piece, and also the Roger. I feel like this Roger will work very well with the Farsa, and of course, Swirly Swirled, what are you doing with this, Selena?
Well, Selena, yes, nerfed, but if you play her in the early game, you still get the Abyssal Arrows. It sets up very well for the team.
Swirly Swirled has a very high landing chance in the Selena in the NPL series season as well. And now, I love this. I love this draft, ladies and gentlemen. Not just respect ban, we're banning away the comforts of Gucci because, yeah, Bushi's identify Gucci's very comfortable with this glue. They just take it away. This is just pure banning, pure drafting mechanism.
I'm not sure he would have still gone into the glue though, seeing as we talked about how he might want to switch it up in this game, but it's gonna be the Karina taken out on the side of One Piece.
Okay, Karina taken away once again because Karina would be a lot of problem for this Farsa, for this Nathan as well. Technically speaking, for this Roger, but oh no. I'm having like a lot of flashbacks looking at these picks coming up from the side of Bushi's. It is gonna be, yes, Raibi on this Benedetta. Oh, yes.
That's extreme comfort pick
Extreme comfort pick,
coming
yep,
out
confirm.
from Raibi. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen Benedetta in a while, other than when EVOS played it in M3. I think that was pretty insane.
Yet, if there's a few people that could literally push the limits of Benedetta, Raibi is definitely one on the list, right? Gear, of course, quite good, name dropping right now, ladies and gentlemen. But One Piece will respond with a Phobius and just as a response pick as well, and Tigre getting picked up by the side of One Piece. I feel like what they really want to do, if you want your One Piece, you have to try to break out the UBE, but what I'm looking at right now is Tigre want to suck everyone in and give that UBE over to the side of Bushies.
Well, Tigre, he does have that tanky frontline initiation and the CCs, which One Piece lacked in the previous game. So I wouldn't say that's entirely a bad pick. It kind of does make sense. And they have the counter in terms of the Phobias against the Benedetta. So they're playing a little bit to cover up the previous game, as well as to counter the draft of Bushies.
Yeah, this Phobias will be very pivotal in One Piece's side of the draft, right? Because you've got a Benedetta, you got Ruby that technically dashes, and don't forget, Selena dashes a lot. So the Phobias, your main job with your ultimate is not to deal damage, but to get as much shield as possible to basically dish out the damage.
We'll see how they fare in this game 2 between One Piece and Bushies, ladies and gentlemen. This might be match point between the two teams, and it will determine if Bushies gets it, they're gonna proceed into the grand final. So One Piece, it's up to them to prove themselves.
Yeah, this time around a bit of switcheroo, a forced switcheroo coming out of Gucci, right? With the Phobias instead of the glue. Raibi just cutting the waves once again, and don't forget, it's an assassin fighting against a marksman. And remember what we said about that. Usually assassins will eat the marksman alive.
Yeah, but here comes the backup in with the Sacred Hammer pushing Raibi away. He's going to be able to escape again. Benedetta, very high in mobility.
Yep, very high in mobility as well. And don't forget, Swirly Swirl just providing some vision with the traps as well, setting up traps, trying to disrupt JM as that Roger. Bush will try to farm as quickly as possible, and like I said, the traps.
Yeah, Miss Lin taking up so much of his HP, but able to use the wings by wings to fly away. So still, across the board, no kills just yet.
No kills just yet. Looks like a lot of magic resist boots being built in by the side of Bushies, because technically, yes, One Piece does have a lot of burst damage in terms of the magic resists, and it all boils down to whether Bushies will use the Selena to try to assassinate and try to get this early game lead. Especially if you notice how they were walking around at the bottom side, they really want to catch and make sure that Skies doesn't get the farm.
Yeah, but they managed to shut him down the last time, so it's a matter of doing that again. But don't forget, this time they have JM on the Roger as well, so that's something to watch for, because once you get a snowballing Roger, that isn't good news either. Yep,
that isn't good news, but remember, as a Roger, you want to allow your team to basically peel and burst some people down. Roger is definitely usually like the janitor. I like to call him the janitor.
Yeah.
But if you're facing against Bushi, right, with Kirby as this Estes that's constantly applying burst healing, you're unable to dish out the damage, you're unable to lay down the Like a Pounce.
Here comes the Abyssal Arrow onto Stikes. Immediately he's stunned out, and will the turtle go to Bushies? They have managed to pull it, but it will be One Piece coming in with a steal onto the turtle, and across the board, I think a 1-for-1?
Yeah, 1-for-1, but One Piece taking down the turtle for themselves. but they will lose their jungler. This is not good if you want to try to snowball as the Roger. But Bushy's, Bushy Bush just stays as alive as possible. I think that is a huge win. In terms of the gold lead, yes, they can basically just spend a bit, because take a look, Bushy's is still leading in terms of 1k. But let's take a look, take stock of the map once again. We notice how they're rotating around. Bushy's not a very aggressive team as well. In terms of the whole team in general, it's mostly just Kirby making sure to piss people up, but this time around it's not a Lolita, so the only way that you can do it is to use Swirly Swirl to basically land down the episode arrow, of course, after the Estes slow him down.
Red team hero has been
Well,
slain.
they actually sent 3 members up to the top lane there just to get Bento. They managed to get the kill, but the return, the mirror image happening on the bottom side, and they do get Sky, which is not good for One Piece. They wanted Nathan to be able to scale, so I don't think that was a good trade.
That wasn't a good trade at all, Bushy's focusing on the bottom side is a very good deal, but One Piece, yes, they take Bento out, but Bento is not supposed to, just get out of control. Don't forget, Ryby is constantly cutting the waves and is starting to get annoying over the side of One Piece. And now, don't forget, Sky, as the Nathan, will lose that bottom lane. I think Sky needs to call for a lane swap right now.
Yeah, I think when you see immediately that you're going up against an assassin, I think that would be something at the back of your head.
I call lane swap already.
Like immediately, right? You're like, I don't really want to be here, and that's where Sky doesn't want to be. Taken down by Ryby on the bottom side.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ryby against with the Benedetta. I mean, I'll go back to Nexus, all right? Call me back after 30 minutes.
Not just the top lane, you'll just retreat all the way back to
man.
the core and not want to come out. But it's gonna be 1 turret already taken down on the side of Bushies.
Yeah, you can see. I think what One Piece needs to rely upon is just Gucci, right? Gucci will become this late game monster that One Piece desperately needs, and then just because it's a bonding experience, like how Estes will want to bring everyone from Bushy all together. But let's take a look at this this turtle, still taken away by Bushies because Swirly Swirl is just providing so much threat over to side One Piece.
Yeah, I think it was a good steal the previous time around by One Piece, but this time they're a bit far behind to be able to contest that. But in the mid lane though, here comes the Feather Airstrike, able to do damage, but it's not enough. Miss Lin is the one to be taken down by Ryby, absolute monster, going under the turret for this kill.
Yep, he's raging. He's
raging, Ryby.
He's furious. He's furious at that because I mean, I'm not expecting. I'm definitely gonna be expecting a lot from this Benedetta, creating so much space at the bottom side right now. Nathan, I don't know why he's actually walking all the way back down. If I were him, I basically go to the safer lane, which is all the way up top. There's a lot of entrance going in at the bottom side from the side of Bushy to just go all the way in. Oh, Implosion doesn't connect.
But stunned down under the turret is JM. Bushies are going right in for him. The healing they can't do anything because healing is too much, and they have enough to be able to just dive and get the kills. 2 down on the side of One Piece.
Yeah, and that's the problem about Benedetta, especially in a period of time where she was just running rampage around the meta, right? First of all, you're really good at cutting waves. Second of all, you have this unlimited dash that doesn't have doesn't spend any resource, doesn't spend any cooldown, and you can just dash over wall, create so much pressure, invisible pressure at the bottom side. And don't forget, it's going to be a one final blow going up.
Sky again going down. Ryby going in the middle of the 2 turrets here. Stunned out. 1 hit will do the trick.
Yep,
I don't think there's anywhere for him to go. He went a bit too deep into the depths of One Piece, but manages to take down 2 turrets already on the bottom.
I think that's a worthy trade. Like, Raging Ryby is like, you know what? I've enough. I've got enough fury in me. I'm just gonna execute, allow myself to commit suicide at the bottom side, allowing Bushy to just take down the bottom side. If you notice, Bushy right on this YSS is more of a pushing YSS as compared to a assassin YSS, and now another lane swap happening for the side of Bushy. Really
I'm
nice.
offended onto Stings here, manages to catch him, but not enough damage to take him down at this moment. You mentioned Bushi's playing the macro game, they're doing it again. This time not in the mid lane, but they took down the bottom lane first before they moved to the mid.
Yeah, so right now it's going to be a little bit interesting for Bento, right? Because Bento doesn't really like. Remember, Zubushi doesn't really need to focus on the bottom side already. Once again, it's a 4v4 that One Piece usually like to play. But I feel like if you want to go and face up against Bushis, you need all hands on deck. You need Gucci with the fact that you can proc with your ultimate over and over again, especially whenever Bushi dashes. You need that damage. You need everything to try to take Bushi down, especially if you're in a gold deficit.
Yeah, or to counter Raibi for that matter. He's gonna be the one dashing and you need someone to stop him. Stop this raging monster going around just taking kills. Right now he's sitting at 2-1, but if you look at the overall picture, 3-8. Now they have 6k gold ahead. Bushis, they're holding well and they're trying to snowball even more.
Yeah, I would say One Piece is actually holding on quite well themselves, right? This time around, yes, they have a lot of problems at the bottom side, and now, okay, Bushi actually managed to clear off the top side alongside with Raging Raibi, and One Piece is really holding on to the mid lane strong as possible. If this mid lane goes down, One Piece needs to rely on sieging techniques, and don't forget, this Roger doesn't even have to walk X at all because so much damage coming in.
Raibi going in the mid tier for Stings here, but the Sacred Hammer pushes him under the turret. He's going to be eliminated from the map for that aggression, but before that, he actually went to the top lane to take down all the turrets. So instead of the mid lane, this time they've cracked open the 2, and now they go to the mid, they siege, they get 1 kill onto Sky, One Piece, they're trying to press on to get another kill. It's Bento in trouble. Will he be able to make it? Yes, he does get the kill. It's a 2-for-2 trade now, but Bushis, they are able to fight back. Will Bush fall in this fight? The Mountain Shocker popped here. It's gonna be JM that goes down in the backline, and Bushi, he's pressing on, trying to get Gucci here. 2 hits, the assassin in him is trying to make the kill. It won't be enough as Bushi is the one to be taken out.
Yeah, you can see for a period of time, I think One Piece ran out of steam. Gucci, if you notice how, I think One Piece can actually make it because you need to rely upon of that Phobius to constantly dash in, not just like dash in, right? Constantly proccing the ultimate and then spamming the first skill. Don't forget, when Bushi wants to use the ultimate bonding experience, like right now, everyone will be clumped up, and that means that your first skill is gonna proc everywhere. And don't forget, it also building into the Frozen Heart as well. For the Dominus Eyes for the side of One Piece as well, in order to get as much armor as possible.
Yeah, right now it's Bushi still sitting at an advantage of about 4k gold and 5 kills ahead. I think One Piece, like you said, have held their fort really well, and in that fight they went back and forth as well. Right now, though, they're trying to contest the jungle, Fended Airstrike, able to just fend them off for a bit, but the Lord is up.
The Lord is up and Gucci picks up a Lightning Truncheon. All eyes on Gucci. Gucci needs to make it work. Without Gucci, I think the whole One Piece draft will collapse entirely. It all boils down to make sure that Stings doesn't really pull off very crazy plays and give that Lord away, but here we go.
Gucci, like you said, he's trying to make the plays here, but he's too deep into the members of Bushi's. Immediately he's taken off the board, and it's gonna be Bushi's. They are on the hunt now. They're gonna sink the waves and be able to push together with Lord.
Yeah, Gucci was all out of position right there. I think, you know, all those time playing in Zaglu, you want to try to play cross map. Now it's biting you all the way back. I feel like One Piece, they cannot afford to fight 4v5 or 4v4. They need to fight 5v4 or maybe 5v5 because that's the only chance they could actually survive. But luckily, Gucci should be able to respawn just in time for Bushi's to lay down the siege, especially in the mid lane, to cover it all the way out.
Stings though, trying to be in the front line, but he's eliminated, and now the rest of Gucci again deep in, trying to make the plays, going for the back line here, but doesn't make it. Misling gets picked up by Raibi, and now they're chasing down Gucci again. He's trying to chase and get someone, but where is the backup? The healing from Kirby is just insane. It's enough to keep everyone alive. And look at Kirby's health. He's completely full, keeping everyone alive. He still has immortality. Trying to get, now it's a 2-for-3 trade. Sky though, he's gotten the damage and a double kill for himself. So again, One Piece, they are playing from behind, but they managed to hold off for now.
They can hold off very well. You saw that particular team fight. Like One Piece, Gucci is the key member from One Piece to make sure that they are staying relevant in this fight. But I think, you know, One Piece was focusing on the wrong turret instead. Rather than pushing down, defending the mid lane, the top side, my bad, they're focusing on the mid lane side. Now, Bushi's, they need to start to respect Gucci, right? You saw how much damage that he could output, how long he could last in a fight, and as long as he's actually dishing out, landing down the ultimate, he should be able to just, you know, get all the shields. And once the UBE runs out, basically there's a timer for Kirby to fight, right? Once that runs out, I think One Piece need to try to re-engage once again. Do not give Stinks over, do not give Mislin over. They just need to hold back tight.
I think in that fight, Mislin went down too early, and that's what made it difficult for One Piece.
Yeah.
They didn't have the damage to be able to continue aggressing on Bushies, and without that, Bushies just had free reign to put the pain on. But Sky, the moment he managed to find an opening, he started to crack through the defenses of Bushies, and if they continue that, they might have a chance.
Yeah, but it's going to be very hard for the side of Bushi, but this pickoff could be it. Bento getting pushed all the way back out. Feather Airstrike, it's a little bit too early for my liking right now, because One Piece definitely need all this this damage if, you know, just in case Bushi wants to handshake for a team fight.
I think Feathered Airstrike has been used pretty defensively to just put Bushi off for a bit, and it's been rather successful. I mean, it's a shame that it's not used offensively, but still, it's better to just hold off Bushis from sieging your bases.
Yeah, and of course, you know, whenever One Piece goes in, if you notice, whenever Mislin goes in with the Feather Airstrike, Bushis, they're not afraid. They have the iframes from Raging Raibi. They also have the flicker. I'm offended to deny Mislin from the Feather Airstrike. So I think Bushi has all the tools in the bag. They can actually pull it out. But Gucci, out of position once again from a. You need to stay alive in order to fight against Bushis.
You can see, you know, Jace is just getting worked up right now. Gucci, the only man down, and this gives the opportunity to Bushis to be able to take the Lord completely for free.
Yeah, without Gucci, right, there's no kryptonite over to the side of Bushi, because Bushi was basically getting away from all this dominating fights over and over again. Raibi has no respect to the Feather Airstrike, has no respect to Stinks as well. And if you notice, Bento constantly picking One Piece at a time.
One piece at a time, and that's not the idea. Well, with Stings, the draft, you know, you have the ultimate bonding experience on the side of Bushis. The idea is when you group up, Stings goes in, gets as many people as he can, but right now he's going in again and manages to get only one. In the meantime, though, it's Mislin getting blown up in the backline by Raibi. It's gonna be again a numbers disadvantage for them. Here comes Gucci in the backline, but again, he gets eliminated by Bushis, and now Bushis, they have the chance to siege, they have the Lord as well, they have an extra member, and now they're going for the core. It's gonna be game to Bushis taking the series.
I think One Piece, they only have one trick in their pocket in terms of strategy, right? We send Gucci to play a solo game off the map, and then, you know, we try to fight 4v4, 4v5, but it doesn't work out. But still, take a look at Gucci's damage. Off the charts right there, 44% damage, and Stings just gave himself herself all the way out constantly, and it's just working in the favor. Because once you lose a member from a 4-man fight that you try to do a 4-man gank, like, you know, a 4v4, it doesn't work out really well.
I think they had the idea, right? Like with Stings, if you group up on paper, you should be able to go in and get a, I don't know, 4-man Sacred Hammer implosion of some sort. But I feel like, I'm not sure if it was the positioning so much of Bushis that didn't manage to let him pull that off, or how, but it just didn't seem to work out. Like, that game plan didn't work out.
I don't think that game plan worked out, because I always see, you know, this T-girl walking all the way up, realizes that, oh, I'm in danger, I'm at half health, then I walk all the way back out, then I'm dead. This is basically, there's no room for them to enter. So if that's the case, you know, what I realized from the side of Bushi, they're just allowing One Piece to, oh, you want to walk up to me? Fine, I'll let you do that. Then I'll burst you one by one, and if you don't want to, I'll drag you literally one piece at a time. With Bento, this basically is like a Franco hook. This I'm offended is basically a glorified Franco hook. Hook one person in, we bust this person down, and then we move on to the next. You've seen time and time again, Gucci constantly trying to pick a fight, but he can do the damage. He was almost able to win everyone, but by the time he's so bloodied and almost like winning, the members of One Piece wasn't able to follow up. So the lack of following up from the side of One Piece just hurts them so many times, and Bushi just won the team fight over and over again.
Yeah, I think it was also credits to Kirby, right? The amount of healing that he put out and just made it so difficult. And you mentioned things going all the way to the front line. In the meantime, don't forget Ryby's behind you, just taking out people like Miss Lin in your back line.
Yep, and I think that's the problem, not say problem, but that's just the fear as a marksman player. When I see a Benedetta, the way that Benedetta works is, right, you cut the waves.
Yeah.
If you don't...
Which he did.
Which he did. Okay, so basically in the list of Benedetta things you need to do, cut the waves, assassinate backline, use your ultimate to split the front line and the back line, you burst down the front line and back line has no one else to protect, and then that's basically what you do as a Benedetta.
Yeah.
Ryby did everything.
Textbook Benedetta.
Yeah, textbook Benedetta. That's why I hate Benedetta.
Yeah, but it won them the game. So, of course, congratulations to Bushies. It was an absolutely great fight put up by One Piece. Unfortunately, there is a winner and a loser, so it's going to be Bushies proceeding on to the grand finals, the final series of the day, ladies and gentlemen, up against Zenka Kindergarten. We'll see that right after this break, so don't go anywhere.
I want to extend our warmest welcome to you on behalf of Apple and on behalf of M1.
Wasting time on sharing reviews on social media without being recognized by the brand you support. You&Me mobile app is a social media e-commerce platform that values consumers' reviews and recommendations with loyalty rewards for products and services you care about. Our 8-app integrated news feed allows consumers to see recommendations based on their interests and be inspired by good buys shared by other users in the community. On the review page, consumers can explore and participate in campaigns by creating creative content reviews of their favorite brands, tag the products that they recommend, and enjoy the satisfaction that comes from becoming co-creators of brand values. We value each reviews and recommendations with loyalty points that can be applied towards their next purchase or be converted into cash rewards. Consumers, You hold the key to a brand's growth and reputation. Your trust, enthusiasm, and patronage should be appreciated and rewarded. Be part of You&Me's word of mouth movement now. Share the good, good to share.
What if I told you a mouse was designed by a YouTuber? Probably just a cash grab, right? But what if I told you that YouTuber built their channel on reviewing mice? Has over 250 gaming mice in his house, 150 mouse reviews on the channel, and over 22 years experience in first-person shooters. Yeah, this isn't a cash grab. This is about taking mice to that next step. I started the Rocket Jump Ninja YouTube channel because I realized I aimed better with certain mice. And others did too. Mice have come a long way in that time. Performance is amazing, but there's still one thing that's being neglected. And when it comes to aim, shape is king. I've spent the last year testing my theories on design, and my aim has never been better. So here it is. My experience, my creation. The Xtrify MZ1, Zeiss Rail.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Asia Esports Festival X Comic Con MLBB Community Tournament. My name is Scrubby Cheeks, and here with me is Jace. We've just seen insane matches in the 2 series of semi-finals, and right now we're going to the grand finals.
Of course, grand finals, ladies and gentlemen. This is a best of 5. It's technically a single elimination now, because just now was a technical double elimination because we still have the bronze match too. But for these 2 teams, technically they're already winners. One of them will be walking away with $2,000 worth in vouchers and 4,000 diamonds, and of course, one of them will be walking away with a measly $1,000 worth in vouchers and 3,000 diamonds. If you compare value to value, value to value, okay?
They fought very hard for that $1,000.
True,
okay.
true.
So difference of $1,000 in cash vouchers as well as 1,000 diamonds. So that's what's on the table for this grand final series.
Yeah, but of course, going to happen concurrently will be our bronze placement, where it's going to be ranked tonight going up against One Piece, which will be duking it out offline, not on stream.
Yeah, so they are fighting for 3rd and 4th places. So the difference is $500 in vouchers and 2,000 diamonds versus $200 in vouchers and 1,000 diamonds.
Yeah, I'm not too sure whether I'm jumping the gun right here, but it feels like a really huge congratulations to all these 4 teams. Technically, they are already the winners. I wish I could walk into a competition and like, yeah, you know what? You already won something just by participating. But no, but I mean, these 4 teams, like, they fought all the way from, you know, we've whittled down from I believe was more than 30 different teams, and then whittled all the way down to the final 4. Technically, these are your top 4s. So of course, don't count yourself out just yet. The most important thing is the experience and of course the camaraderie that you build up along the way.
Yeah, and the practice. I mean, these players, they're kind of like pro or semi-pro players, so it's really, fighting as a team, being able to participate in community tournaments to build up their experience and repertoire. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, the draft is ready for us. Let's get into this grand finals.
Repertoire, indeed. Really going to be interested on what they'll be picking all the way up as it's taken off the board right now, ladies and gentlemen. The stakes are high, and it's going to be Bushi's in first pick. and it's going to be Zenka's Kindergarten on
Your
second
team
pick.
is
You've banned away right now, non-common suspects in a sense. No Nathan, no Amon. It is really do or die right now. First game will set the tempo for both these two teams.
Definitely. I mean, Amon and Valentina we've seen as very common bans, so that could still be the two that's left on the table. But the Eve pick, both of these teams have played Eve so far in the previous matches. That was highly contested between them.
Yep, that's right. But I feel like, right, Bushi's, they do have the veterancy card as compared to Zenka's Kindergarten, because Zenka is the only one that has the experience, and the rest, technically speaking, up and coming. They are very new, but don't counter out just yet. In the past few games, they are the aggressors. They are the more aggressive ones because, you know, Bushi's, however, they are the one that will be a bit chill, a bit slow, but when they come online, they really come online.
Yeah, and you don't want to be in that position.
Nope.
But right now, it's going to be a Matilda ban, which leaves, there we go, the Valentina pick open.
Yeah, Valentina pick very wide open, will be taken away by Solus World. And now it is up to, you know, Zenka's Kindergarten, technically speaking, to pick the worst ultimates in life, right? So, Beatrix will be snap picked by the side of Zenka. And I feel like Steady Bomb BB is a little bit not stable right now, because are you going to pick a Farsa?
It's gonna be the Sicilian.
Okay. Yep, Sicilian
Okay.
receive a buff, technically speaking, with a faster scaling, with the mana, and of course with the Impure Rage right now, with the cooldown reduction, however, with the maximum mana reduced a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still
But the
not too bad.
cooldown is reduced as well, so
That's right.
you get it up even faster.
Yep, and you also notice some of the Eve actually picking up the Impure Rage right now, and immediately a response coming out from the side of Bushi, Raging Raibi picking up, going back to the Clint once again, duking it out with the Beatrix, and of course,
Lolita.
I love this Lolita pick coming up from the side of Bushi's, right? It's gonna counter two things. One, the projectiles from Beatrix, and the bat impact as well.
Yeah, and I think maybe it's not a bad idea that they took out the Eve, because now you open the Valentina, you don't have to deal with the real world manipulation, but you do have to deal with the Bat's Feast and the Deadly Catch.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm actually very afraid of, you know, sending another Deadly Catch over. Don't forget, technically Deadly Catch scales better with magic damage, and now let's take a look at the bans. Taking away, well, both of the comfort picks, right? This Lancelot is gonna be very important in sniping down the Sicilian and even the Beatrix. However, on the other side, it's gonna be the Rafaela being taken out of the board. No more heals coming out from the side of Zenka Kindergarten. So, what are they gonna pick in terms of the tank?
Probably left, well, one tank as well as one off-laner, so not sure which they're gonna go into first. Hovering over an Esmeralda.
I just like the Esmeralda pick once again, but of course it's gonna be a high loss, and immediately, wow, I've never seen a decision made so fast in my whole life. Bento snap picking the Yuzhong once again. This means that the Yuzhong will try to find the Sicilian in the back line, and of course just destroy the back line. So it's really getting really dicey for the side of Zenka Kindergarten. Drop, however, Bushi, I think that may be a Paquito jungle.
Looking at it, yeah, it should be a Paquito jungle. There you go, Retribution on Bushi as well. So it's looking like a pretty aggressive composition. You have Bento, the extreme comfort pick on a Yuzhong. You have the Paquitos singling out knockout, and not to forget Lolita and Valentina.
A very well-balanced team as compared to Zenka's Kindergarten. Like Bushi's, in terms of the early game, you have the Paquito. In terms of the mid game, you do have the Yuzhong and technically the Valentina once level 4 comes online, and then you have the late game, right? You have the Clint that just rips apart everyone if they stay in the same straight line. However, for the side of Zenka's Kindergarten, if you drop a Bane, you have to really try to take down turrets as quickly as possible and move on. That's how the Bane jungler works. I'm okay with this high loss, the Law and Order, to try to stun down one person, because just in case the Paquito comes over to you, you just stun him all the way down. But they do have the scaling factor in the Sicilian, but it's very risky, right? You have the Valentina with the Deadly Catch, also have the Big Black Dragonfall to be afraid of.
Yep, we'll see how that pans out as, ladies and gentlemen, this is game 1 between Bushies and Zenker Kindergarten, grand finals of the event today, and we're gonna see who comes out on top. This, like you said, Jace, is gonna set the pace.
Yep. First game usually will set the momentum, the tempo, and basically like a litmus test, right? You want to step into that swimming pool and just check whether it's like a little bit too cold. If it's too cold, then you buckle all the way out. That's basically what these two teams are looking for. But a lot of damage being put down by the side of Bushies on top of Nino forced the recall. I don't like this, but what I like is, you know, Kirby just preventing Nino from backing off.
I don't think he recalled exactly. Yeah, it's just gonna hover around with half his health. But so you talked about the scaling. Ooh, there we go. Terrified. Beichu there having to back out. This is Valentina, right? It's insane. She has the regen, she has the CC, and the ability to steal your ultimates.
Yeah, a bit nerfed right now, but will be a little bit weaker in the early game. But I'm actually but technically, Valentina is still stronger in the early game as compared to a Bane, because Bane's main source of damage is from his first skill, and that has to bounce, right? That has to bounce from one another, and you can see an invade coming out from Bushies.
Yeah, invading onto Bushies. They are just going on to Nino, just collapsing onto him, and he is removed from the map. Beichu running in the wrong direction, right into the face of Swirly Swirl. It's gonna be 2 kills for Bushies, putting them up ahead. This is the problem with scaling.
Yep.
They have the early game advantage and they're abusing it.
Yep, early game definitely going into Bushi, because this Paquito played it extremely right. Like hard invading in the top side, taking away the orange buff away from Beichu, from Zenker's Kindergarten. And then you have a level 4 Bushi Bush and a Paquito, which hits his power spike, whereas Beichu is struggling to get to level 4, where he unlocks his deadly catch. And it's going to be very important because the turtle is up.
Yep, turtle is up. You can see Bushi Bush rotating down and just waiting out patiently, but they're gonna go ahead to start it right now. Zenker, it doesn't look like they're gonna contest it.
Nope, I don't think they could contest, not without Beichu at level 4. Finally hitting level 4. Deadly catch should be going down a little bit too late. Bushi will secure the turtle with a nice retribution.
Yeah, deadly catch. Maybe just a zone away Kirby there. I don't think it would have made the turtle in any case. But that's the problem with, we talked about the scaling composition. Is Zenker Kindergarten going to make it into the late game for them to be able to have a shot at this game?
Yeah, even if Zenker Kindergarten went all the way to the late game, right? There's a lot of factors that Zenker Kindergarten will be trying to have to look out for. But okay, whose Glorious Pathway is this? Please own up.
I still can't. I still can't deal with Valentina because it gets me so confused. But right now, Nino burning the flicker to get away from Kirby, sensing the danger that's about to come upon him.
Yep, it's like a perfect Spider-Man meme right now. I really like how Swirly Swirl is using this Valentina, literally abusing the Cecilia all the way back into like level 4, where she's already up to level 6, and now just taking a look at Bushi, just no respect to privacy at all over to side of Zenker's Kindergarten, taking away the orange buff from Zenker Kindergarten again.
Zenker right under his turret, getting stunned out and just deleted from the map. Nino here for the backup, but is it gonna be enough? He is stunned out as well. Glorious Pathway, I think, being used here to escape, and he manages to.
Yeah, Glorious Pathway this time around is from the right owner. Nino will be able to
I
walk
paused
away.
for a while there.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second. My brain is trying to connect. Whose Glorious Pathway is that? But here we go. Milim going toe-to-toe against the Bento right now. Just trying to shove the Little Wanderer away, because what Beichu needs right now is the farm. He's lost 2 orange buffs right now, and they need something.
Definitely need something. Again, they're invading here on the side of Bushies, and Bento, unafraid of anything at all, just going head on with Milim.
Yep, and ooh, Steady looking a little bit low. Turret has been destroyed on the top side already as well. It's not looking very good for the side of Zenker Kindergarten if they keep this up.
Definitely not. Milim B forced under the turret, and we talked about Beatrix clear, right? It's supposedly good, but now she's lost her turret on the top side. Beichu in the bottom jungle getting hit on by 2 people, and again he falls. It's his 2nd death of the game now.
If you're a jungler and you can't farm your own jungle and you're trying to farm from the enemy jungle and you're not having fun, and here we go.
Glorious Pathway being used to escape. 2 Glorious Pathways, but it's gonna be his Beichu's one that able to make his escape. Whoa, Bushies with the aggression under the turret. Bat speeds being used just to fend them off for the moment.
Yeah, Beiju was nowhere to be seen in these team fights, had to go back and heal all the way up. Just compare the level difference in the two of these junglers, right? Bushi currently in the lead as compared to Beiju. That the missing orange buff, and in fact Zenka is now forced to protect the orange buff right now because there's nothing left to do for his side of the map. His lane is already getting pushed in, and this means that Raging Raibi should have the momentum.
Mino out of position, trying to make his way back once again. A flicker being burned to escape. He's being just caught out so many times in the middle of Bushies, and it's not going to be of any use because now they can dive the turrets to get the kill, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Steady Bomb PP in some trouble here. It's going to be Raibi picking up the last few bullets that's needed, and Beiju just stunned out for forever, and the shots from Flint going to do the trick.
Big problem over the side of Zenka Kindergarten. They lost the momentum. I thought they should be the aggressive one, but instead Bushi was the one that brings on the aggression against Zenka Kindergarten, and now Bushi cracking open the mid lane as well. We saw this happen in the previous game when they did it against One Piece, and remember, Beiju is not farmed up. Now he's gonna lose access to all the jungle again. It's gonna be bad news over to the Kindergarten.
Definitely bad news, and this is not cool. It's an uncomfortable position for Zenka Kindergarten to be in. Now remember that these teams, they're undefeated so far, so this is really difficult for them to be. Here's Milim facing off against 3 people, but the shots from Raibi isn't going to be enough to close this kill up. In the meantime though, on the top side, just 4 people sieging on the top. Bento in some trouble. Deadly Catch to seal the deal. It's going to be Bento as well as the turret being picked up, but here comes Bushi Bush coming in, and he picks up 2 kills for himself.
Burst damage coming out from Bushi Bush, right? It's a level 11 going up against a level 6 Sicilian. And now they're going to trade tempo for tempo, but it's going to be Bushi's gaining the tempo at the bottom side. It's not doing very well. You crack open the bottom lane, coming out from the side of Bushi's. And now more a jungle creep of Zenka Kindergarten. Potential farm, mind you, is going to be taken away. You have an underfarm Bane, you have an underfarm Sicilian, and basically underfarm all throughout because Bushi's has done a wonderful job just shutting down the jungler from Zenka Kindergarten.
7 minutes in, 1 inhibitor turret, 5 turrets, and now they're sieging on again. Beiju immediately gets removed from the map. They're pressing on now, trying to get the turrets from Zenka Kindergarten. Black Dragon Form being popped by Bento, going all the way to the back line just to zone them out, creating space to take this tier 2 turret.
You saw the damage coming out of Bushi Bush, right? That is just phenomenal damage that Bushi could just land. One punch, literally just half health Zenka so quickly for Zenka all the way back to base. Means Zenka is not there for the fight, means there's no damage coming out from Zenka, means Bushi can do whatever they want in the team fight, and it is gonna be an uphill battle for Zenka Kindergarten to climb all the way back out, especially if they have an open bottom lane.
I think it's more than an uphill battle at this point. They're trying to find any pick off, and they find Kirby, but he is the tank. Doesn't take too much of the damage, and the rest of Bushi's is here for the backup. Numenor Blast connects, and Nino is stunned out, but they don't manage to get him just yet. It's just a brawl here in the jungle as Bushi's their real target is on top. It's Zenka, manages to go out, but here comes Bushi, and manages to become a double for him. He is hunting down the members of Zenka Kindergarten, gets 4 together with the top turret.
One punch! 4 members have to run away. That's the power of Bushi Bush going in as the Paquito jungle. Super farm up, super fat, destroys and deletes Zenka one by one, and now here we go again.
Deadly Catch used to zone them out, but is it going to be enough is the question. Bushi Bush so fat, like you said, and he's just razor-eyed on Zenka. He just immediately takes him off the map and runs through the rest of Zenka.
Literally the veteran book coming in for the side of Bushi. Like just bashing onto these kindergarten kids going in from the side of Zenka. I mean, it's really hard to come back from this. Just take a look at the gold lead. Take a look at the XP. Sorry, that's something that has been escaping my eye. Just take a look at the kill lead. 15 kills. Zenka Kindergarten constantly biting the dust, just eating dust, not farming up, and therefore unable to do anything else. And now Bushi is primed to get this Lord to try to seal the deal, to find a nail in the coffin for the side of Zenka Kindergarten game number 1. They lost so much momentum.
They definitely did. I mean, they had the momentum from the start. It was so hard for Zenka to even do anything. It's like they were suffocated.
Yep.
The jungle for Beiju, he couldn't get any of the farm, and right now the Lord goes to Bushis as well.
Yeah, and the Lord going down. This is still a normal Lord, so it's too. No, it's a
normal Lord.
It's a normal
You
Lord.
feel like it's been a luminous because of how the game is going, but it's not even there yet.
It's not even there yet, Scrubby Cheeks. And don't forget, it's an open base at the bottom side. So Zenka Kindergarten has to try to defend this, whereas I believe Bushi should be able to take even more turrets away from Zenka Kindergarten. The Sicilian needs to constantly spam the bad impact to try to go all the way in.
On to Zenka immediately. He has to flicker out to safety, but the Black Dragon form uses that to zone out everyone else. Minim is in trouble trying to escape, but nowhere for him to go. He manages to make it back to the base. It is Nino in trouble. So far, no kills across the board, but Bushis, they've opened up the space. They're gonna take the inhibitors.
And the worst part is, ladies and gentlemen, Bushi is sending down another Lord. It's a 2-prong attack coming in, and Zenka Kindergarten has to defend.
They have to defend, but will they be able to make it? Nino, so little health with one more hit from Raging Rab. He takes the hit, and then the core, they're going right for the core. It's Bushis that's gonna take the first game.
Game number 1 going into the hands of Bushis, just dishing out the damage from the Paquito jungler. Zenka Kindergarten just running around like kids without a disciplined teacher in the class.
Playing to the kindergarten analogy.
I have to play along with that.
They're trying to school Bushis, but in the end it's themselves that got schooled.
Yeah, and it just all boils down to this, right? You Swirly Swirl on this Valentina is just bullying Steady Bomb BP all the way out in the lane. Don't forget, the Valentina has sustained. Every time she lands a skill on top of someone, you gain XP, and suddenly you gain an XP lead, and then after that, you rotate out of your control. And of course, speaking about rotation, oh, I almost forgot. Bushi is constantly in the wrong side of the jungle.
Yep. But he manages to pull that off.
Exactly.
And not to forget, you have Kirby as well, just roaming and a counter against Beatrix. I really felt this game, it was so suffocating for Zenka Kindergarten.
It is, and it's like just clenching onto the throats of every single one of these members from Zenka Kindergarten. They can't do anything. They tried to farm top, they couldn't. Bushi will gank. They try to farm the jungle. No, Bushi is always there. And then they try to gank mid, but then mid is a losing lane because Valentina is just suffocating in terms of the winning in terms of the XP lead. And well, you have an ultimate. Well, it's mine now. Takes away. We fight Deadly Catch with Deadly Catch, and especially when Bushi is so farmed up as compared to the Bane from Zenka's Kindergarten. The Valentina's Deadly Catch, the copycat is gonna hurt even more. So don't forget, Deadly Catch also scales with magic power, which means that Bushi is gonna be even more hurtful. And
I have a deadlier catch than you.
Yes, and at the bottom side, there's nothing to be done anymore because, you know, Bushi, they won the jungle fight and that's it. So in terms of veterancy, right, Bushi won. But Zenka Kindergarten, in terms of the draft, I don't think there's any issues with the draft. The highlights was a little bit sus, but I think there's nothing to be done for the side of Zenka Kindergarten. It's just out-rotate. Bushi just out-rotates Zenka Kindergarten.
Well, that was going to be my question, right? Yes, the execution, I think, still went to Bushi's, but was there a chance that they could have switched up their draft a little bit? Because we talked about the scaling, and that's a really important factor for Zenka Kindergarten's draft. Sicilian, yes, you have the Bane with the Deadly Catch, but you have Sicilian, Esmeralda, you need the late game. Could they have pivoted that to an early game draft?
I think yes, they'd have to take a look at that because remember when we go into the loading screen, right? I literally, oh look, Bushi's draft is very balanced, like how Thanos likes it, right? It's just so balanced. You have early game, you have mid game to shine, you also have late game in the clip. The mid game is where you have the Yuzhong to try to catch out the Sicilian, which he did, which Bento did. So everything, it's going swimmingly from Bushi's. However, on the other side, Zenka Kindergarten, I think the draft is a little bit lopsided. The Bane was correct. I think trying to deny some, trying to be a comfort pick, I would say, coming out with Beiju with this Bane, but unable to find the damage because constantly getting shoved out. He lost the 1v1 in Valentina, especially in the first 2 levels, because, you know, the Valentina is definitely going to do a lot more damage as compared to a Bane. And I think that just snowballs, right? And once you see when Valentina scouts out the Bane is trying to at the bottom side, bottom side river, Bushi just walked all the way in. Your jungle, hippity, dippity, your property is, you are now my property or something like that. Oh, I
Bushi
messed up
was
that
just
rhyme.
all over the map, like you
That's
said,
right.
And it's so hard. You have all across the map. They're all
Yep.
doing well, pushing the lanes, and then you have Bushi roaming the jungle.
Yep.
Like it's all his.
Hippity, pippity, you are now my property. Yep, that's right. I finally nailed that
Where
right.
is that coming from?
I don't know, man. It's just in my head. Okay, so basically, it's just cherry picking every single thing.
Yeah.
Zenka's Kindergarten got starved out of gold. It's just there's no comeback mechanism. There's no defense against. There's no answer to the Yuzhong that's constantly trying to hunt down the Beatrix and the Sicilian as well. And then high loss with the Law and Order going backwards. Yes, but you have the front damage coming out from the Valentina as well.
Yeah.
So the Valentina went unpunished and then just scale out of control. You notice at the closing screen, the summary screen as well, the Valentina did a lot of damage, which, nerf in the early game, but in fact, I would still feel that Valentina is still technically ban worthy as compared to a Nathan.
Yes. So okay, that was the match. Let's look forward, right?
Yep.
Valentina banned for sure.
Yes, please.
And your PSA was like ban Valentina, but we still saw it in this match.
Yep.
So ban Valentina. What else can Zenka Kindergarten possibly do to be able to take this one?
I think play to their comfort pick. I don't think they should focus on the bans anymore. In fact, let's take a look at the draft, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 2. Don't worry, this is a best of 5, and here we go. In fact, it is going to be Bushi that bans away the Valentina.
Yeah, I guess they don't have the first pick this time around, so want to take that out. But it's also going to be Beatrix as well as the Yve once again.
Yeah, Beatrix ban away. I think that Zenka Kindergarten has something else they want the first pick. It could be definitely Bushi has to ban away the Estes. Then the side of Zenka Kindergarten can pick up a clean for themselves once again,
Your team
taking
is
away
picking.
from Bushi's. But I'm not too worried about this. Or are there anything else you would like to pick? Like the Nathan pick? I don't think that's a prior pick anymore.
Amon is available.
Amon's available, but he's getting nerfed. So
It's true.
definitely going back to the Clin, which yes, he got nerfed, but I like I said when we start the show, right? You bring him in a couple of rounds and you tell me whether he's nerfed or not. No, because I can play him very well. That means that this character is broken.
How much he's hurting me doesn't feel like he's been nerfed at all.
Yeah.
And I think in the hands of Raging Raibi, that's even worse.
Yep, exactly. And now Lolita pick going back in, and Lolita is such a good pick against. Oh
Your
my
team
goodness!
is
Well,
picking.
are we expecting a Benedetta Raibi again?
Well, you never know. You never
Definitely
know.
will be. I think I can smell it from here because look, Swirly Swirl had picked up Selena for himself. Going back with the Lolita point because destroy projectile as a Lolita denies that clean once again. So that's why Lolita has surfaced
You
in
should be
such
ashamed
popularity
for
and
your team is picking.
Bane and Eudora. Okay.
Eudora. We haven't seen that quite at all.
Eudora is good. One, the producer is already agreeing with me already. I've got the name call you out, my man.
Your team is
Eudora is good because one, it's a fail-safe. You wouldn't fail with an Eudora, right? It's point click stun. What can you do? Well, how can you go wrong with that? 2, it does a lot of burst damage. 3, especially when you have assassins that's trying to jump on top of you, you want to disrupt the combo,
Your
i.e.
team
the
is
Selena
banning.
and the Brody, and even technically the Lolita, right? You stun it, and then you just destroy everyone with just one lightning strike.
Yeah, but in response though, it's going to be the Brody picked up on the side of Bushi's.
Yep, Brody going in. I think I think it's Raibi will definitely going to be in the Brody duty going up against the Clin.
Your team
Brody
is
does have a good range and good damage and more sustainable as compared to Clin. Clin technically, yes, he does output a lot of damage, but we've seen other teams like pressuring the Clin so much. Brody usually will go down to a slightly tankier path, but it's going to be Bento on that Ruby as well. Bush hasn't unveiled what jungler they will be using.
Always on the way.
Not yet, but it's going to be Zenka Kindergarten with Matilda as well as hovering over the Phobias. Is that an expectation for the Benedetta coming up?
I don't think
Your team
that
is
the
picking.
Benedetta will be good going into Bushies because, well, if they pick up Benedetta, right, definitely not going to happen. But I think it's because Zenka has leaked out a Lancelot. That's why the Phobius will come in. Don't forget, in the previous match, one piece that Gucci used that Phobius to great success. In fact, Phobius is still viable. And there's a lot of dashes coming up from the side of Bushies, especially with a Lancelot. You have a Ruby, you have a Brody, you have the Garrot from the Selena, and even technically a slight small little jump from the side of the Lolita. This Phobius should be the combat mechanism that Zenka Kindergarten needs.
Yeah, they did still pick the Lancelot into the Phobius though. And yeah, actually Ryby was going to be on that Brody, so no Benedetta for him in any case.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but they rounded up the draft now, and it's going to be the second game between the two teams. Still best of 5, so they still have some ways to go in terms of their runway.
Yeah, remember the paper scissors stone I was talking to you about, Scrubby Cheeks? You have the fighter jungle going up against assassin jungle. Technically, on paper, the Bane should reign supreme, but can he keep up with Bushy Bush's Lancelot in terms of the pacing?
Yeah, we're gonna see in this next game between Zenka Kindergarten and Bushies. Ladies and gentlemen, game 2. We're gonna see how they fare. Zenka Kindergarten is the one to prove themselves this time.
Yep, and definitely. And remember, there is a bit of iframes coming in from the side of the Lancelot, right? Steady on this Eudora going in with Impure Rage. Okay, that's interesting. Not a lot. Yeah, well, technically you do have the tankiness coming up from the Lolita, but I think, and I hope, that this Eudora will be the massive no button that Zenka Kindergarten needs to basically stall Bushi from his wombo combo.
Potentially, but you talked about the iframes, right? So if he gets past that, it could be trouble. But right now, Nino's the one in trouble, getting stunned out, having to flicker away. Flame shot doesn't connect. It's gonna be first blood. Still nowhere for him to go.
Nowhere for him to go, indeed. And look, Bushi should have more, early game presence because of the because of Sody Swirl, and of course the fact that they have a Lancelot, right? Zenka Kindergarten should not have lost like you. Nino overstepped its boundaries. Remember what I said. I don't think Mathilda doesn't really have the damage anymore. It got nerfed a little bit, and now especially with the 15% damage reduction, especially in the allied jungle. So I think Zenka Kindergarten has to play it a little bit slow. The hot-headedness may spell trouble because Bushi will definitely handshake all these fights.
Steady though, in the mid lane, Abyssal Arrow connects onto him. It's gonna be 2 kills now for Bushies.
Yeah, and if you want to play with us, ladies and gentlemen, you can play with us. How many Abyssal Arrow does Solis World could land? That was already one already. He's actually very well known for the Selena, especially in other scenes as well, and definitely a hero that he's very, very comfortable with.
Yeah, so you do have the Eudora stun as well, but on the side of Bushies, it's not like they can't top that. They have the Selena with the stun, they have Bento with I'm Offended, and the CCs to fight back, basically.
Yeah, and Zenka Kindergarten has to land down this, but speaking about CCs,
it's gonna be Turtle going the side of Bushies now, and they want to fight here. Is Zenka Kindergarten, is he too late to the party going on to Kirby, but is he gonna smash it in time? It's gonna be enough for 1 kill. Zenka, they lost the Turtle, but they're trying to make as much as possible.
Yeah, not gonna go down without a fight. I actually did not see Zenka at all. I was like, oh, Phobius is not there, and then suddenly, whoa, where's this guy in the sky? Landing down right on top of on top of Bushies as well. So very nice trade coming out from Zenka's Kindergarten, and now I think it's all down to Million to scale and Steady pumping to scale, because I believe Steady will become this landmine that Bushi may step into.
Here is Kirby though, being caught in the midst of 3 people. He's gonna be stunned out, but he's still a tank, and the rest of Bushies, they're hovering around and they're ready to fight if needed.
Oh, I like that what happened just now, right? Zenka Kindergarten using the stun coming out from the Eudora to stall Bushi. Had he not land down that stun, then Luminum Blast Flicker combo would definitely go in.
They're putting so much pressure right now. Bushi's onto Zenka Kindergarten, taken out Beichu on the side as well, and they're pressuring down on the bottom lane.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure. Oh, once again, Solis World landing down. That usually spells very big trouble right now. Even eating all the flame shots. Steady! Must be the luckiest man of the day.
That man is a magician, somehow manages to survive with that one bit of health left. I barely could make it out, but here is Nino in the wrong side of the world. Manages to make it out, he still has his guiding wind. Numenor Blast connects. I feel like that was, I'm not sure, there was no follow-up there in any case.
Yep, no follow-up at all, but Kirby is still landing down on aggression. Nino looking a little bit low right now. Deadly catch going in.
Oh, Bushy Bush with the Thorn Rose and the iframes manages to make it work.
Yeah, and Zenka Kindergarten really have to realign themselves just a little bit. Bushi has been dominating in terms of the bottom lane, the mid lane, and the jungle right now. Beichu getting shoved out of the jungle once again. Mid lane, Steady is not doing very well against Swirly Sword, and there's Selena once again landing down the flame shot. That's why he's a very scary Selena player, especially with packed up with the flame shot as well.
Not just the abyssal arrow,
he
right?
Lands
he has
everything.
dodged, yeah, he lands the flame shot as
everything.
well. And while we're speaking again, Bushy Bush manages to pick up the turtle on the bottom side. Milim now in some trouble. They're just going deep again and trying to shut him down. It's not enough backup from Nino. Circling Eagle being used, but Kirby is here to help out as well. Numenor Blast not going to connect, but they take one kill onto Milim and they're happy with it.
Yeah, if I were Bushi's, I'll be very happy about it right now, right? You know, picking up that Milim that's literally minding his own business, trying to farm, but then, you know, Bushi's hiding in the bush, just really work it all the way out. Now Zenka going toe-to-toe up in the top side, just landing down the ultimate. It's the stun coming in. No way for this Zenka to run away.
No way with the I'm Offended connecting. I mean, he tried to use the Malefic Terror, but it's not going to be enough. 1v2. I mean, it wasn't fair to begin with, but right now it's a fight in the mid lane. Here comes Bushy Bush. Not gonna overextend too much at this moment. I think they know that Bushy's, they have the firepower, so they're backing into their turret.
Yep, farming should be the key coming out from Zenka Kindergarten. They're really starving out Milim once again. This is going to be a replay of game number 1. Just making sure that, you know, Zenka Kindergarten has no space to farm at all. And now just, you know, so much threat from Swirly Swirl, so much threat from Kirby as well. It's causing so much mayhem for the side of the draft of Zenka Kindergarten.
Oh, Beichu, he's stunned out here in the mid lane and the damage is enough from Raging Raibi to be able to steady. Pompipi also gets stunned out under his turret and he is deleted.
Look at the arrows going in. That's literally secured Bushi's the kill actually, and stalling Zenka going into the fight as well. And now he's gonna have to force the defense. I mean, Zenka Kindergarten really have to switch out the gears a little bit. They need to try to make sure that Milim gets as much farm as possible. Beichu as well. I think the Bane jungle doesn't really work against Bushi's. They know how to play against it. And don't forget, so it's like a mini game, right? Zenka Kindergarten doesn't feel like they're playing MLBB anymore. It feels like, let's dodge Swirly's arrows.
It's a game of dodgeball at this point, you know, dodging the abyssal arrows that are just raining down. But right now, it's they're going to try to siege back. Zenka Kindergarten, they were playing on the back foot, but right now they found an opening onto Raging Raibi. Immediately melts him down. Here comes the deadly catch also, and it looks like they will get 2 off of that fight.
Well played right there coming off of Zenka Kindergarten. That's literally the fight they've been looking for, trying to equalize the score. And don't forget, Zenka Kindergarten, Steady needs to land the stun properly against Bushy Bush, and that's how you see Bushy went all the way down. Now, to equalize that score even better, they need to secure this turtle quickly.
Yeah, but they managed to get the key targets. They got Bushy Bush and Raging Raibi, so this time they will get the turtle.
Yep, that is absolutely correct. Now Zenka securing the turtle should be very well, and now they at least get to breathe the enemy base air just a little bit more as Zenka Kindergarten needs to charge at the bottom side.
They're charging down, trying to get this turret here. Numenor Blast for defense will stun out Steady, and he is just taken care of immediately. It's going to be Nino right in the midst, trying to peel for his teammates here. Zenka as well joins the party, just running around, slamming down, but he doesn't manage to take out anyone. Instead, he is the one to go down. It's going to be 2 for nothing.
2 for nothing indeed. Beichu unable to find any form of entry in that team fight. However, across the map, Bushy on the Raging Raibi is just destroying turrets on the other side of the map.
They did get Bento in that fight 2-for-1, but still the amount of resources that they've lost. Zenka Kindergarten 4-3 kills at this point. Swirly Swirl stunned out in a wrong part of town. It's gonna be taken down, but they get a revenge kill onto Milim. 5-14 now, and they're sitting at 3-4k gold lead. Actually, not too bad, but it feels like they're still being suffocated.
Yeah, Zenka may breathe just a little bit more, but Bushies is slowly clamping down. As if you take a look at the items, once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is still going to be, you know, key items being built already in the land slot. Well, you can see the Brody starting to be going into defensive. I believe that's a brute force breastplate going in. Bane struggling to build a BOD, and in fact, the Clint going straight into a BOD immediately after the endless battle. I'm not too sure about this build. I feel like you do need more defense going in, especially if you're playing from the back foot. However, key items already in for the Phobias, going in with Dominant's Eyes already to try to limit the healing from Bushies, but also mainly is the damage. But I feel like you do need the Athena's burst, Athena's shield going in, especially from the burst damage from Swirly Swirl.
Yeah, not to forget torn apart memory and ults like these. It's so hard to deal with, and you have to make the trade-off. Do you want the damage or do you want the defense? But right now it's going to be Bushies starting up this first lot of the game. Zenka, not sure if they are in a position to contest.
I don't think Zenka's in a position to contest because, you know, Steady is not in the area and Kirby lands down the ultimate, but it's going to be Zenka going in.
Zenka goes in again, 1-4, and he's trying to do as best as he can, but slamming down. Where is the backup? They come, but it's too late to the party. Milim, he does pick up Bush actually, and now they have the opportunity, but they're going back and forth. And it's a 1-for-2 trade at this time. Zenka, they find an opening, they're trying to chase the person onto Swirly Swirl. Is relentless. They pick him up, 1-3.
That must feel so satisfying for the side of Zenka Kindergarten. Swirly Swirl finally goes all the way down because Bushi has been setting up this early game so well, but here we go. A bit of siege happening in the mid lane.
Deadly catch being used for the turrets and some damage. They're trying to make use of this, you know, turning the tables a little bit, and before the Lord comes out, they need to defend as much as possible, but can they do it?
They do have Milim, so Milim needs to be protected all well, so that they have, you know, pushing power to go up against. Bushi is definitely trying to secure any cross map, and don't forget, Beichu is starting to come online. The BOD definitely helped. You saw that immediately after he built that. He does have the damage that he's looking for. It is going to be a cross map play happening for the side. Bushi splitting Zenka Kindergarten all the way out. Members of Bushi focusing on the bottom side instead, as Zenka Kindergarten hopes to look for a flank. I don't think they can find anything.
They're not finding anything. They get the turret on the bottom side, but Raibi sacrifices himself for that. The Lord goes down on the top lane. Here is Bento spinning and trying to get someone, but he is going to be chased down by Zenka Kindergarten. It's one kill for Zenka Kindergarten as well. They're putting up a defense as best as they can.
Phobius is online. Zenka, like I said, is the key. We saw Guess actually trying to use that to great success, and now Zenka Kindergarten is using it against Bushies. Now, Bushies has to be very careful. Everyone from their side dashes a lot, so Zenka Kindergarten should be able to get off the money load. The most important person from the side of Zenka Kindergarten that should not go down from the start of the fight is Steady. There's a lot of damage in the Eudora's kit, and it has to stay alive as long as possible. But Bushies, they're always dictating a fight. There's so many CCs that Zenka Kindergarten has to dodge. Luminant Blast, let's go down the list.
Abyssal Arrow?
Wait, Abyssal Arrow,
Abyssal
that's
Arrow?
right.
I'm offended.
Yep, I keep the list going. I think
Raging Raibi has a stun as well.
Yep.
He has a stun and a dash.
So there's a lot of these CCs that Bushi does have in their kit. Now Zenka Kindergarten, they do have one very big CC, which is, I would say, the one point and click CC that I would say you reserve it as the final bullet to the person that you want to kill. Bushi should be up in the priority list from the side of Zenka Kindergarten.
Yes, but he's slippery.
He
has
is.
the Thorn Rose, he has the iframes to be able to do it. You also want to be careful of Raging Raibi because he has the damage and the torn apart memory. And right now though, Zenka Kindergarten, are they in a good space? Because remember, they have Swirly Swirl on the Selena. That's a 0.5 person going into the late game.
Yep, but right now, as the Lord has spawned, this is the Luminous Lord. Technically speaking, right now, Swirly Sword's power is reduced by but speaking of He's still
falls in the mid lane. The deadly catch was used, but it's not enough. I'm offended. Gets Beichu as well, just blown up in the middle lane, and they get the Lord together with it. Bushies that look extremely good to make this push.
Immediately when we say Sony Sword, yeah, he's a half a man now, but he goes in with a double kill. Man, he's probably like, yeah, let's show Jace that I'm actually a real man. Takes down 2% without any problem at all. Landing those Absolute Arrow has been very crucial, and now Zenka Kindergarten has to defend with 3 men, but Bushies has a Lord marching down soon.
They don't need the Lord, they have Siege 2 inhibitors, and they're going down into the base. Nino gets blown up immediately by Bushi Bush, and now they just need the creeps to be able to continue the siege, Jace.
No wave cleared. Milim does have a bit of wave clear, but here we go. Zenka engage, a stun coming out.
They're going hard on Raibi, but he makes the escape here. Zenka, he's not able to push through to the back line. The flame shot doesn't connect as well. The Lord is here. Can they make use of this?
No, Raging Raibi is low. He has to back off. He's desperately trying to look for creeps, jungle creep to basically heal all the way up. Now, Zenka Kindergarten, they do have 5 men very, very soon. They just need to hold on tight. Bushi does have a 5 man, but they are still slightly weak. Immortality on Bento as well. And
connects, and he manages to chunk him down. He's minute down. That's the damage dealer gone. They're trying to siege now. The Lord is down to, he's gone now. But the core is at half health. Jace, they're still chunking it down. It's going to be the game to Bushies.
Man, that was so good. These Absolute Arrows, I feel like Zenka Kindergarten, they're not playing MLBB anymore. They're playing like
Dodgeball. Dodge Arrow.
Dodge Arrow, whatever you call it. There's so many CCs to walk into. You path one wrongly. Hey, I got an Absolute Arrow going onto you. Hey, I got Luminum Blast. Hey, you
Flame Shot.
happen to walk into my Flame Shot with in the face here. Or maybe you walk into the I'm Offended. It's so tough for the Zenka's Kindergarten to play this around.
Oh, that was absolutely, it's so tough. It's so tough for them. So much CC's damage, and it's suffocating.
Yeah, it is very suffocating, right? And I would say the moment when I literally saw Swordly Squirrel landing down an Absolute Arrow on top of Milim, full stop. That's it. Especially at that point of time, it's just game over for the side of Zenka's Kindergarten, right?
That's the guy that you need to keep alive. He's the one that's going to defend your base.
Yep.
And I guess he was a bit too far forward, I think,
in
that fight, and unfortunately it landed on him, and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. There wasn't any Purify as well that we see all across the board. I feel like the Purify should be very important, especially going in that you know that there's like so many things that you have to dodge. Don't forget, you got a swirl to dodge. And you know what is very controversial to bring up if I were to go back to game number 2 and redraft? Let's draft a Diggy.
A Diggy?
Yep,
okay.
let's draft a Diggy.
Okay, elaborate.
Let's draft a Diggy, and then it's just immediately everything just shuts down. Luminum Blast takes time to charge up, right?
True.
When you see that you activate the Diggy time travel, immunity CC to everyone, you gain shields, and you can fight all the way back. You build this Diggy slightly tankier, and don't forget the auto alarm bomb provides the what's that called? The vision, which Swirly Sword does have against you. So you match that towards each other, and everything should be nice and dandy.
Fair enough. I feel like the Matilda also maybe could have used more of that. Like, might have been more useful as compared to the Matilda.
Yep.
But right now, ladies and gentlemen, that was an intense game. But we're going for more because it's a best of 5. Before that, we're going to go into a break. So sit tight, and we'll be right back with you.
Stop wasting time on sharing reviews on social media without being recognized by the brand you support. You&Me mobile app is a social media e-commerce platform that values consumers' reviews and recommendations with loyalty rewards for products and services you care about. Our 8-app integrated news feed allows consumers to see recommendations based on their interests and be inspired by good buys shared by other users in the community. On the review page, consumers can explore and participate in campaigns by creating creative content reviews of their favorite brands, tag the products that they recommend, and enjoy the satisfaction that comes from becoming co-creators of brand values. We value each reviews and recommendations with loyalty points that can be applied towards their next purchase or be converted into cash rewards. Consumers, you hold the key to a brand's growth and reputation. Your trust, enthusiasm, and patronage should be appreciated and rewarded. Be part of You and Me's word of mouth movement now. Share the good, good to share.
What if I told you a mouse was designed by a YouTuber? Probably just a cash grab, right? But what if I told you that YouTuber built their channel on reviewing mice? Has over 250 gaming mice in his house, 150 mouse reviews on the channel, and over 22 years experience in first-person shooters. Yeah, this isn't a cash grab. This is about taking mice to that next step. I started the Rocket Jump Ninja YouTube channel because I realized I aimed better with certain mice. And others did too. Mice have come a long way in that time. Performance is amazing, but there's still one thing that's being neglected. And when it comes to aim, shape is king. I've spent the last year testing my theories on design, and my aim has never been better. So here it is. My experience, my creation. The Xtrify MZ1, Zeiss Rail.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Asia Esports Festival X Comic Con MLBB Community Tournament. My name is Scrubby Cheeks, and again here with me is Jace. Now we are into the possibly match point in the grand finals between Zenka Kindergarten and Bushi's. Intense matches.
Intense matches indeed. Game number 2 felt... Okay, game number 1 felt like a violation to the privacy of Zenka's Kindergarten jungle. Game number 2 felt like basically dodgeball, like what we said, or basically try not to be a abyssal magnet arrow arrow magnet like me in my rank games. I literally always walked into them. That's why you don't play with Jace. Third game though. What is Bushi going to be pulling out? I think that's the biggest question that we have to ask.
Well, I feel like it could be Bushi, but it's also Swirly Swirl, right? Like we talk about that Selena. Is Selena going to be a ban or not?
You see, there is not enough bans. There's only 3 bans, right? So if there's only 3 bans, there's not enough bans to go around.
You need to take out the meta bans as well.
You ban away Selena, then you ban away the Valentina. Then it opens up to a lot. Like you opens up to Esthers roaming around. You open up to Eve. But speaking about ban, let's take a look at the bans, ladies and gentlemen, because this is match point over to the side of Bushi's. They are currently poised in taking a walking home with $2,000 worth in vouchers, 4,000 diamonds as well, and they will start with an Esthers ban.
Still meta bans across the table. This time it's gonna be Bushi's with the first pick.
Yep, Bushi with the first pick this time round, and it is going to be a Lolita respect ban, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, Zenka Kindergarten is not playing around.
But I think that makes sense, right? Because if you have the Lolita, you're taking out the marksman, and you do need that marksman.
Yeah, and you know, if I were Bushi's right now, I ban away, I would say, the Aemon, and now Zenka Kindergarten has options. Don't say options, but problems. Okay, they're gonna ban away the Valentina. I was supposed to build into the Valentina, but okay, they're gonna take it away from themselves.
You can't. We've seen that in game 1. When you let the Valentina through, what happens?
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? You know, if Zenka Kindergarten, if Bushi did not ban the Valentina, Zenka Kindergarten has to ask this question: who are they gonna have to try to ban? Do they ban away the Valentina? Do they ban away, the Selena, and do they ban away? Okay, fine, the Eve will be banned away by them this time round. I feel like it should be swapped a little bit, and now what's open will be definitely, well, the clean of, well, okay, they're gonna go for the Beatrix.
Selena, if Swirly Swirl wants to go into it, and the Aemon you mentioned as well, but Raging Rabi is gonna pick up the Beatrix. Well, given that they've banned out the Lolita, I guess Beatrix is still able to make some sort of impact.
Yeah, I think this Beatrix is definitely very flexible, right? You can go into the gold lane, you can go into the mid lane as well, so it's very open. It's not telling anything else, because I think the Farsa is also very open. They can, Swirly Swirl could basically pick it up for themselves before going to the second phase ban, but it's gonna be milling back onto that clean duty once again, and also the Rafaela being picked up for the side of Zenka Kindergarten.
The Bushi's, they're actually going into the Matilda this time, so might not be a Selena anymore, and Bento, well, comfort pick Ruby.
Yeah, comfort pick Ruby going in once again is going to be a Farsa secure. This is a comfort pick from the side of Zenka Kindergarten. Steady was using this to great success and immediately responds. They're very, very shy this time around, right? Really taking away Selena, coming up with Swirl. I don't think Bushi will be going into a Selena, because I think the fact that they pick up the Beatrix is really trying to toss Zenka Kindergarten away, and now they wasted, you know, that Selena ban away, and now what's open, right? I feel like Zenka Kindergarten should go in for the Yu Zhong pick. Oh, they don't need to go for the Yu Zhong pick because Bento is on that Ruby.
Yeah, Bento's on the Ruby. They're probably not gonna pick it up, but the Phoveus Bando does that hint at anything?
I think they're just afraid of the combat mechanism that Zenka could actually use with the Phoveus, but I don't like this. No offense to Beichu, but I don't like this Bane at all, because this Bane wasn't doing much in game number 1. Was a bit of impact in game number 2. You don't see the Bane using the Deadly Cat trying to just zone away the members and try to push down the turrets left and right. and now they're going to go all the way back in. You're not a very strong early game fighter, but here we go. Coming in from the side of Bushies, they picked up the Lilia, and they picked up an Alucard as well.
Maybe just for the skin.
Yeah, just for the skin.
Just for the skin.
Yeah, just for the... Is it Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? Is it Obi-Wan
think,
Kenobi
yeah.
skin, right? Cannot be skin. Sorry.
Now, don't get your Star Wars terms mixed up here. Production isn't gonna let you go by with that.
I made a lot of mistakes. I think I called like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I think it was Tom
Yeah, it was
Cruise.
Tom Cruise that I missed out with Brad Pitt as well. But it is going to be high loss sword for the side lane this time round. Going in, I believe, should be Milim. But it is going to be Zenka on the high loss duty. And now, it is going to be an Alucard. Now, if you want to bring an Alucard to a jungle, you need to be at least 2 levels ahead. That's how you basically win against an Alucard. You do have a lot of AoE damage. You do have a lot of bursty damage coming in. But the tank going in, I feel like, yes, Obi-Wan Kenobi, thank you very much for highlighting that. I feel like both these two teams slightly balanced already. Bushi is lacking in terms of the tanky part because of the lack of a tank. But Zenka Kindergarten, it is their game to prove us in game number 3.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, game number 3, match point between Bushis and Zenka Kindergarten. Like you said, Zenka's game to prove. And the question is this draft enough to be able to do that?
It feels like a Zenka Kindergarten draft, right? But Bushis, I think they're playing around with a bit, using the Alucard and non. It's not very meta. You need a lot of build up. You need a lot of, not say just protection, but you need a lot of Pew. You do need a lot of, farm in order to try to scale as an Alucard. But look at that once again, Bushis, they're not letting up on the pressure in Zenka Kindergarten side of the jungle right now.
Oh my gosh, Kirby, he takes a Cyclone Eye, but he decides not to run away, and now he's trying to go with tails between his limbs, but it's not gonna be enough as he falls as the first blood.
He falls at the first blood, right? But Bushis was able to secure the Lethal Wanderer. The fact that, Kirby was actually just stalling Zenka Kindergarten makes that Zenka Kindergarten don't really dare to do anything, because if you compare that with the the clear speed coming out from Bushis, it's still a lot faster.
Kirby though now trying to make some aggression here. Zenka Kindergarten also going deep. I'm not.
Oh, I like that. If you notice how Bushi basically, they're making sure that this jungle buff is actually weak, but here we go, a nice engage coming out from the side. Bushis will be able to burst down Zenka Kindergarten just slightly a little bit, but they are looking to interrupt, Beichu constantly.
Yeah, as well as Milim, right?
Yep.
Again, the Clint, they're trying to put the pressure to prevent him from scaling to the late game.
Yep, but now Turtle will be spawning at the top side. Law and Order goes down on top of Bento. 3 members on the side of Zenka Kindergarten tries to land down the hurt on Bento, but will not be able to find any of it.
Not able to find any just yet. I mean, Ruby, Bento does have the CC, don't run Wolf King just to stop the onslaught for a little bit, but they are hovering over the top side of this map because the turtle has just spawned.
Yep. Oh, I don't like this Feather Astra. I think it's a little bit too early.
Kirby goes down immediately, and now they're trying to fight for not the turtle, but they're just taking down kills. It's 2 down on the side of Zenka Kindergarten.
Yeah, I think the Feather Airstrike was a little bit too early, right? And immediately, even the Glorious Pathway as well. I felt like they tried to engage on top of Bushis, but Bushis, the I'm Offender from the back for the side of Bento, just secured not only just the kill, but also the turtle for the side of Bushis.
And that's playing to their strategy. You talked about the Alucard having to get ahead, and this is him at the start of that. So if they continue letting that go, it's not going to be good for Zenka Kindergarten right now, though they're pretty even, 2-2, just 1k above.
Yeah, 1k above, but I mean, remember what we said, Bushi needs to be leading, technically was leading in the level lead, and of course, Beichu constantly getting shoved out. Bushi's constantly just pressuring on top of Beichu, not allowing this jungler to farm at all. Steady comes all the way in, but trying to catch Raging Raibi, but I think it's already scouted out by Kirby.
Yep, scattered out by Kirby. Here is the defense coming in. I think just for good measure wasn't really needed. It was Kirby as a one-man just trying to invade the jungle. I'm not sure now. Alucard, now they don't have that ultimate to be able to defend this. And Beichu, deadly catch being popped. Is it going to be enough? They die 4 men under the turret just for him. And there's nowhere for him to go. Minim as well gets picked up on the bottom 1v1.
Yeah, and it's gonna scale out of control from there, ladies and gentlemen. Bushies, we've seen this before. Bottom side getting taken down, the jungle gets denied. Zenka Kindergarten, they have to be careful whenever they use these ultimates, because if you notice, Nino missing the Holy Baptism as well. And now here we go, Bushies trying to pick up some kills on top of Nino, but once again, getting shoved out of their own jungle is Zenka's Kindergarten.
Oh, the I'm offended gets him right into the depths of 3 people, and he's just blown up Zenka Kindergarten. It's another one down for them right now. They're going top. They're trying to find Zenka. It's 2 men on the pursuit. Will he be able to get out with the glorious pathway? He is safe.
Yeah, he will be safe for now. At least Zenka Kindergarten is using Milim to try to shove down the bottom side, but Bento should be parting all the way down. A bit of a lane swap happening for the side of Bushi, but Bento brought a friend!
Oh, Milim again gets blown up on the bottom side. They're really crushing him and suffocating him on the bottom side at the same time. On the top, they're putting so much pressure.
Yep. Push down bottom side, let's shove all the way up top. That's what Bushi is trying to do. Zenka Kindergarten constantly out-rotated. Usually it's Zenka Kindergarten out-rotating members, but now Bushi is the one out-rotating Zenka Kindergarten with sheer veterancy card. And now with the outer turret energy getting dropped all the way down, top side is looking very soft, but Bushi is trying to lay down the siege in the mid lane.
He didn't even have the space to contest the turtle. Again, I'm offended onto Beichu. Doesn't really connect though. Swirly Swirl pops Black Shoes to be able to get back to the prime of his health. Beichu, I don't feel like the Bane was that effective in the past 2 games, but again picked up this round.
Yep, in fact, that's what, like when I saw Beichu going in back for the Bane again, it feels like he's going back to the comfort picks, and they're just really hoping that Beichu will finally, you know, the 3rd time is the charm, right? But this is the best of 5. This is also match point over to the side of Bushies. If they take this one, they will walk away as the grand champion. But wow, Steady going in once again with the Farsa, with the feather airstrike.
Not enough, as Black Shoes being popped doesn't get Swirly Swirl, and now Zenka's the one in trouble. Uses the glorious pathway to carve a way out to safety. He manages for the time being, but Bushies, they've already gotten 3 turrets at this point.
3 turrets means that Bushi is definitely going to get map domination all across the 3 different lanes. Zenka Kindergarten once again find themselves in the same spot in the past 2 games, where they're constantly underfarmed, they're constantly out of control of their map, and now they're just looking around for scraps that Bushi is laying all across.
They are Swirly Swirl again, getting in the brunt of the feathered airstrike, but they find Steady Bomb PP and Nino as well, and they are just taken off of the map. It's gonna be 8 kills to 2. Now, previously, they broke open the inhibitors at 7 minutes. Yep. Is this going to be history repeating itself?
Yeah, and especially with a 5-man in the mid lane once again, it's not faring very well for Zenka's Kindergarten. Rising Ryby just landing shots after shots, and don't forget, this Lilia does have the Black Shoes to just basically counteract all the damage. He can absorb all the damage from Steady from BP and just nullifies it, and now, you know, that ultimate is just useless.
It's completely useless, and it has been used just for him, but it's nullified. Right now they have siege onto the inhibitor, not broken yet, but it feels like Bushi's they're accelerating their siege in this game.
Yeah, 4-man just shoving off Zenka Kindergarten away. Milim desperately needs a farm. He's basically under level 2 compared to his counterpart, as Bushi secures the turtle once again and crack open the top side turret, and now Bushi's going in for the siege.
They're trying to go in for the feathered airstrike though. It's still a good defense mechanism, but that's all it has been used for, a defense mechanism. Milim 0-4 at this point. That's their card, that's their damage. It's not up. What can Zenka Kindergarten do?
It's very hard to do right now, right? If you notice how Zenka Kindergarten wants to fight as 5, but Swirly Swirl is this person that could just zone deny everyone in the AoE, can burst every single one down. You try to burst Swirly Swirl, that's all the way in.
Oh, feathered airstrike, but the damage onto Steady Bomb PP pops wings by wings to get away. Bushy Bush uses the guiding wind to be able to get out. Glorious pathway being popped as well to help Nino escape one sliver of hell, but he manages to make it out. And Bushies, they continue fighting, but it looks like they will disengage for now.
Zenka Kindergarten, they don't want to handshake this fight. They just want to shove Bushies all the way out. Yes, they pick up Swirly Swirl, that was actually pretty fine, but I feel like Zenka's Kindergarten need to try to hold their thoughts. They need to stop just going on the full trigger, just blasting all the ultimate, because Bushi has been, you know, when you push out a combo, right, there's certain downtime, and Bushi is just sneaking out the damage towards Zenka Kindergarten when Zenka Kindergarten is not ready for a fight.
We're gonna see if they can. I mean, you mentioned grouping
Yep.
up as 5, and they're trying to do that. But
I
then you
don't think-
also
I
have
don't
I'm
think so.
offended. You don't want to
Yeah.
group up for that.
Yeah, you don't want to group up for that. I feel like Zenka could... No, I don't think Zenka wouldn't want to group up as 5 because you need Zenka as a high loss to basically build a front wall for Milim so that he can land down the damage as Bushi tried to focus down on Zenka. But I believe if you take a look at the item coming up from Raging Raibi, right? Definitely Demon Hunter Sword going in now with the Malefic Raw. I think high loss will be extremely paper.
Given you have Beatrix and you have Bushy Bush as well now, both sitting at 4-0, they have the farm and the damage to be able to do that, and now the Lord is up. Look at Bushy Bush by himself, just getting there.
Yep, Alucard, you know, soloing Lord once again, just making sure Zenka Kindergarten, Bushi just setting out so that Zenka Kindergarten wasn't able to farm all the way up. Yes, the only combat mechanism should be in Steady Pump PP and also Milim, but the Lord has been taken down.
Not looking good for them. Kirby, he goes in right deep, and so much damage being put onto Zenka Kindergarten. It's Nino as well as Zenker that's going to fall. They preserve their damage dealers, but they have no more frontline to be able to deal with this damage that's coming onto them. Mid, bottom inhibitors are gone. Lord is coming down the mid lane now. What is Zenker gonna do?
Zenka, 10 seconds down the clock. They have to try to hold, but I think Bushi should be able to end this all the way out. There's no front line for the side of Zenka, and here we go. The Lord crashes on top of the core.
Lord's crashing the deadly catches as well as the feathered airstrike, but is that gonna be enough for the defense? Bushies, they're putting on the damage on the core as well. They're trying as hard as they can to be able to do that. They get Zenker in the front line. It is gone. Nino is dead as well, and the last man standing is Steady Pump PP no longer. Bushies, they take the grand finals 3-0.
3-0 and a perfect score, showing the veterancy card. Game number 1 was a suffocation game. Game number 2 was a game of dodgeball. Game number 3 just overwhelming with damage and a bit of confidence with the Alucard pick as well.
Yep.
And in fact, I feel it, yeah, Swirly Sword is the one that dished out most of the damage. Bushi was the one cleaning up. But because Swirly Sword has been cleaning up, and if you notice how Zenka Kindergarten has constantly trying to focus now on top of Swirl, but Swirl just swirled back.
Swirly, yeah, just
Swirly
swirls all the ring.
swirled all the... Oh my god, that's a tongue twister. Swirly swirled all the way back using the black shoes, and basically your feather airstrike just gone. And
you only have one shot at the feathered airstrike.
yeah, you only have one shot at the feather airstrike, but Raging Raibi has always kept his distance away, right? Just making sure it's really hard to catch him because he's always on the Renner. He's always landing down ultimates after ultimates, just picking off one person at a time, just making sure that, you know, this is an unbalanced, imbalanced game. Making sure that, you know, you're half HP, you're forced to go back into to regen, to refresh, and then they pick up a fight like that. There's a lot of moments where Zenka Kindergarten put the trigger a little bit too quickly, and Bushi just, you know, it's like a sneaky assassin that just like finds the little gaps in the armor and just stab a dagger all the way in.
Yeah, we talked about crayons previously, right? And they've played every analogy. They know how to play their crayons, and then they play assassins going into the back line, like you said, suffocating, dodgeball. It's all sorts of strategies, but I don't know how they managed to do it, but it really leaves no space for Zenka Kindergarten to breathe.
I think it all boils down to if there's a pick that really disagree for the side of Zenka Kindergarten, I would say it's the Bane. Game number 1, it didn't work out well. Game number 2, it did not work out well. Usually, that's time to not say call quits, but I would call quits, right? I would go inside, okay, me as a Bane, I don't really have this early game damage to fend for myself. Maybe I have to swap it all the way out. Maybe even the Yu Shinshin, technically speaking, does have, you know, decent dash, does have the map opening as well, and also does scale quite well into the late game. And there's also other assassins out there, or even I don't think they will bring back Nathan. But the point being is this: I think the fact that the jungler is very important for the side of Zenka Kindergarten. Bushi identifies it, just suffocates him all the way out, and basically his deadly catch doesn't seem deadly anymore.
Yeah, it does not seem deadly at all.
doesn't.
I mean, he tries to use it for the objectives, but I think it needs to be more than that as well, right? You use it for the objectives when you're kind of on the roll, and you just need to steamroll them. But it's being used a lot defensively as well.
It is, and Zenka always on the defense, right? You saw it in game number 1, game number 2, game number 3. They're always playing a reactive game, and Bushi's they really know how to dominate, right? They crack you open in the jungle. They crack you open at the bottom side. Basically, Raibi is so good at micro, by the way.
Yeah.
Just have to toss it out there. He's really good at micro. I don't know how many fingers does he have on his hands. He really plays everyone down to the micro level. It's so good.
Yeah. So I mean, of course, props to Zenka Kindergarten for putting up a great fight, and of course making it this far in this tournament. But once again, we have to have a winner, and it's going to be Bushi's taking away the grand prize for this community tournament, and that will be $2,000 in vouchers and 4,000 diamonds, while Zenka Kindergarten themselves take away $1,000 in cash vouchers and 3,000 in diamonds.
Yep, so congratulations to both of these two teams. Yes, they fight it out. I feel like they also kind of know each other, technically speaking. They've probably faced them in other battlefields before. But of course, this is Asia Esports Festival X Comic Con, brought to you by Esports Entertainment Asia and Comic Con. And of course, none of this action would happen at all without our sponsors, and they are Bells Academic Group, BuildTech, XL Game, M1, Monster Cat, Mountain Dew, OSIM, Safra, Scorpio Electric, Shure, Umisushi, You and Me Esports Times, See Here Live, Asia One, and GamePro.
Thank you all so much, partners, sponsors, and of course to the viewers out there. Once again, congratulations to all 4 of the winners. Bushi, Zenka Kindergarten ranked tonight, and One Piece will be taking prizes home for themselves. But for now, Jace, I think we are at the time. It's a sad and happy moment.
Yeah, of course. And of course, Happy New Year to everyone of your viewers out there, even if you're online or on site as well. Thank you very much for making the time all the way down. If you are on site, seriously, it's really wonderful to get to see, you know, name tags to the faces, right? Because I literally sat down and I was like, I don't know who is who because I only see name tags, right?
Yeah, but you can put a name to the faces.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, so thank you so much for all of you who have spent your new year with us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, accompanying us in this MLBB community tournament. And we, wish you a happy 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in. Signing off, this is Scrubby Cheeks and
Jace. Thank you very much, guys.
We'll see you next time.
I want to extend our warmest welcome to you on behalf of Apple and on behalf of M1.
Stop wasting time on sharing reviews on social media without being recognized by the brand you support. You&Me mobile app is a social media e-commerce platform that values consumers' reviews and recommendations with loyalty rewards for products and services you care about. Our 8-app integrated news feed allows consumers to see recommendations based on their interests and be inspired by good buys shared by other users in the community. On the review page, consumers can explore and participate in campaigns by creating creative content reviews of their favorite brands, tag the products that they recommend, and enjoy the satisfaction that comes from becoming co-creators of brand values. We value each reviews and recommendations with loyalty points that can be applied towards their next purchase or be converted into cash rewards. Consumers, you hold the key to a brand's growth and reputation. Your trust, enthusiasm, and patronage should be appreciated and rewarded. Be part of You&Me's word-of-mouth movement now. Share the good, good to share.
What if I told you a mouse was designed by a YouTuber? Probably just a cash grab, right? But what if I told you that YouTuber built their channel on reviewing mice? Has over 250 gaming mice in his house, 150 mouse reviews on the channel, and over 22 years experience in first-person shooters. Yeah, this isn't a cash grab. This is about taking mice to that next step. I started the Rocket Jump Ninja YouTube channel because I realized I aimed better with certain mice. And others did too. Mice have come a long way in that time. Performance is amazing, but there's still one thing that's being neglected. And when it comes to aim, shape is king. I've spent the last year testing my theories on design, and my aim has never been better. So here it is. My experience, my creation. The Xtrfy MZ1, Zeiss Rail.